Sign your veteran up for their honor flight today at gslhonorflight.org and for HVAC services, aircomfortservice.com.
Annie Fry, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Ray.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
For goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
Happy Friday. Welcome to the Annie Fry Show. We're glad you're here. Beautiful day outside. A little warm. Kind of feeling like more of the summer part of September than the fall part of September. But it is a beautiful day outside, and we hope you're enjoying it here in the beautiful St. Louis bi-state region. Big news taking place this morning regarding the Charlie Kirk assassination. It's kind of, do you ever have these experiences where something like this happens and then you hear that phrase again, you know, the assassination of Charlie Kirk, and you have to kind of stop and remember that it happened. We're still close enough that we are experiencing this once again, and it's devastating. There's no part about this that isn't going to feel devastating. And I think that the country as a whole is going to feel it for quite some time. The fact that Charlie Kirk founded an organization known as Turning Point. There's a lot of people who have been using Turning Point in the discussion about what happens next. And I think it's a very important question, because if Charlie Kirk was taken out to silence him, his effectiveness of communicating and debating and discussing open conversation, if he was taken out to keep his voice out of the fight, can he be replaced? What happens next? We're asking you today, is this the turning point for our country? We've got a few options. Yes, for the better. Yes, for the worse. Or no, nothing changes. I hear a lot of people talking about what can happen next, and people fear that it's going to get worse. Certainly before it gets better, but it's going to get worse. It may never get better. And then I hear a lot of people from both sides of the aisle running to the center of common sense in a way that I have not seen maybe in 15 years. So there is a very big possibility that a turning point could be upon us. And the question will be, what do we do with the opportunity? Significant, important developments earlier today delivered at a Utah press conference with the governor, with the law enforcement, the FBI. Let's listen to it.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We got him. On the evening of September 11th, a family member of Tyler Robinson reached out to a family friend who contacted the Washington County Sheriff's Office with information that Robinson had confessed to them or implied that he had committed the incident. This information was relayed to the Utah County Sheriff's Office and scene investigators at Utah Valley University. This information was also conveyed to the FBI. Investigators reviewed additional video footage from UVU surveillance and identified Robinson arriving on UVU campus in a gray Dodge Challenger at approximately 8:29 a.m. on September 10th, in which he is observed on video in a plain maroon t-shirt, light-colored shorts, a black hat with a white logo, and light-colored shoes. When encountered in person by investigators in Washington County on September 12th in the early morning hours, Robinson was observed in consistent clothing with those surveillance images. Investigators interviewed a family member of Robinson who stated that Robinson had become more political in recent years. The family member referenced a recent incident in which Robinson came to dinner prior to September 10th, and in the conversation with another family member, Robinson mentioned Charlie Kirk was coming to UVU. They talked about why they didn't like him and the viewpoints that he had. The family member also stated Kirk was full of hate and spreading hate. The family member also confirmed Robinson had a gray Dodge Challenger.
So that is the governor of Utah, Spencer Cox, delivering the news that less than 36 hours later that the search produced a suspect, and a suspect had been arrested and apprehended. His name's Tyler Robinson. He's a white 22-year-old kid, adult. I mean, certainly he's an adult. And it does seem as though he was radicalized. And I want people to think about right now. I think that the fact that the university system is a part of this story, this very, very tragic story. I don't know anything about Utah Valley University, so I don't know that it was particularly the case there, but I have seen videos of their socialist student group being very hyperbolic about Charlie Kirk. And I think we have to start asking ourselves, where do people who have ideas, who have thoughts, perspectives that differ from other people, where are we encouraging anybody of any walk of life to go to the extent where they internally, mentally justify the actions of what we saw with Tyler Robinson? I think the words from the governor were important today, but there's kind of a afterglow is not the right way to put it because the story is such a tragic story. But weren't we all holding our breath a bit to find out that the suspect, first of all, that they had a suspect, and then second of all, that he'd been caught? We watched Luigi Mangione go execute somebody for a cause that he believed in, and quickly we saw people celebrating afterwards. They still are. They've romanticized a cold-blooded killer in that healthcare industry executive. We're not in a position right now where we got the guy, we move on. We close the book on this. Obviously, they're going to prosecute him. I think it's going to be easy to do that. I hope. It's what they seem to suggest. They have a lot of evidence against this guy. But we have to be able to assess what is happening. We have to do it in a way that is non-inflammatory. But I'm going to be honest with you. I don't see both sides in this issue. I don't see Republicans, conservatives reacting to the simple sharing of ideas the way the radicalized left does. I don't feel like there are comparative instances where Republicans don't like what Democrats are saying. Charlie Kirk's not an elected official. Not that that would in any way, shape, or form legitimize anything that happened here. He was just a guy who wanted to have a conversation that people were entertained by, intrigued by, motivated by on both sides. Charlie Kirk was just a guy. And I don't see people on the right seeing people on the other side of the political aisle. And folks, Charlie Kirk, I don't care what any stupid publication headline says. Charlie Kirk was not radical. He was not far right wing. He's actually about as normal and mainstream as the right gets. He was sensible. He was kind. He was open. He was non-judgmental. He's exposed right now in the aftermath. People can't even come to say, how many of you guys have seen this? Maybe it's not so many, maybe you're not seeing in your timelines the people who are like dancing on the grave of Charlie Kirk. But what you're seeing is comments like, oh, I guess we're all going to get really bent out of shape that Charlie Kirk got shot by a gun or that Charlie Kirk got gunned down, but nobody cares when students in classrooms do. That's absolute, abhorrent bologna sausage. Completely top to bottom bull crap. They can't bring themselves to say, I'm glad he died, which some people are. But I bet you have people right now that you know personally that are close to you who cannot keep inside their hatred and disgust for Charlie Kirk, which we all have kind of understood is if they know that you're of the conservative belief, they probably hate you too. Internally, there's probably something nipping at them saying, gosh, I know they're one of those Charlie Kirk types. But you're seeing people, they're not justifying the murder, but they're trying to unjustify your ability, your right to be disgusted, dismayed, and heartbroken over the fact that Charlie Kirk lost his life. They're trying to diminish it. There are multiple levels to the cultural rot that has existed in our political discourse. That is for certain. But the depravity of those people who cannot look at Charlie Kirk's death, his assassination, and without equivocation say, what have we become? You got to think about those people in your life and ask yourself, what's going on there to put them in such a despondent, disturbed place that they can't look at the life lost of an innocent, he is an innocent man. I don't encourage engaging in these conversations on social media, but here's the question: that when they're like, oh, all of a sudden all these conservatives are outraged over Charlie Kirk's death, but were they mad when children sitting in a church pew were gunned down? The answer is hell yes, we were furious. We're still furious. It hasn't stopped. The question back to those people who don't go as far to celebrate his death, but they question the fact that you would be outspokenly saddened by it. The question is, was Charlie Kirk an innocent man? And it's a yes or no question. It's absolutely not a yes but question. No buts allowed. More came from this press conference earlier. We're going to get to some more of it here in a little bit. But we're going to take a break. We've got a guest coming up next. Ted Dabrowski is going to join us. Big announcement today in the state of Illinois. Ted Dabrowski is going to come on and discuss that with us. He's the president of WirePoints, previously vice president and policy and spokesperson for the Illinois Policy Institute. Ted Dabrowski, a guest on the Annie Frey Show for years, many, many times over, is going to join us once again. As the governor of Utah said, we got him. Now the hard work continues, maybe grows, to build a fast and sturdy prosecution of this stone cold killer, this man full of hate. We'll be right back.
Let me be singing when the evening comes.
Stewart's American Mortgage. You can find him by calling him directly at 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440. Stewie's your guy for mortgages, new mortgages, mortgage refinances. This is the deal. Pay $0 in closing costs with Stewie at Stewart's American Mortgage. The bagel loan is only available at Stewart's American Mortgage. And when you do that, you're going to go through getting that new mortgage scheduled, and it's going to cost you nothing to do it. Smart move. Pretty silly not to at least make the phone call. 314-324-4440. And talk to Stewie about your situation if you're looking to buy a new home. A lot of times people will get recommended, a mortgage lender that maybe works with your realtor or somebody you know personally. That's fine. Talk to them. Absolutely. But get a second opinion with Stewie. It's not going to cost you anything to call him or to text him and say, this is what I'm trying to do. Tell me how this might go, and make the best decision for yourself. I'm pretty confident it's going to be Stewie at the end of the day. Call or text 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440. I'm a 2-time bagel loan user myself. I hope you will be too. Google the bagel loan, NMLS number 226715.
Hello from Pro Outdoor, your #1 irrigation and sprinkler team. Aeration and overseeding season is here to repair summer brown spots. Make sure your sprinkler system is tuned up to water in that fresh seed. We're running fall specials on aeration, overseeding, and new residential sprinkler installs within 2 weeks. Call 636-695-7800 or visit ProOutdoor.com to see all our services. That's 636-695-7800.
If you want thick, healthy, gorgeous hair, then you need Hair Volume from New Nordic. Available as a tablet or delicious gummy, Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Thought I'd never be waking on the kitchen floor, but here I lie, not the first time. Now my morning has broken, and it brings the fear. My mind's falling. Then I feel my pulse quickening, but regrets can't change anything. Yeah, I feel.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. We're excited to have you with us this Friday afternoon. We just played in the last segment a clip from that press conference that shows that we do have an arrest in the murder of Charlie Kirk, which is good news, but there's still a lot of work to do, certainly. We're going to cover any breaking news that happens on this story throughout the course of the day. All right, I'm excited to get to our next guest here. Ted Dabrowski joins the Annie Fry Show once again. He's the president of WirePoints. He's also previously vice president of policy and spokesman for the Illinois Policy Institute. Ted Dabrowski, thank you so much for being with us today. It's great to have you here. Can you hear us okay? His mic, I think your mic is muted there.
It was me. Hey, thanks for having me on. It was me, my fault.
No
but
problem.
Thank you for having me on. I'm glad to be here.
Well, we are very glad to have you. You've been a steady voice in the state of Illinois for quite some time. I know, Ted, you used to come on my show when I was doing Saturdays, and I'm really excited to be a part of this announcement for you. Today was a big day in the state of Illinois for you. Talk to us about an announcement that you made earlier in the morning.
Yeah, so I've announced that I'm running for governor. This state should be a top 5 state. It should be one of the best states in the country for economic opportunity, for growth, for attracting businesses. And sadly, we're on the other extreme. And today I've been talking about my parents. They were immigrants 60 years ago, and when they came here, Illinois and Chicago, they were the beacon of opportunity for everybody. And today, people are leaving the state. It's too expensive to live here. There aren't enough good jobs. They're not teaching our kids to read anymore. We have to bring this great state back. It's an amazing state, and I want to fight for everyday Illinoisans to make it the state it should be.
Yeah, I love to hear that. The announcement that you are running for governor, Ted Dabrowski, is on with us right now. I hear you talking about Illinois with a sense of hope in your voice, and I think that the 40% of our audience that's sitting on the east side of the Mississippi River right now is going, what's this guy talking about? Because a lot of people, especially downstate here in the state of Illinois, feel as though it's hopeless. Why would you spend the time, the effort, the money to try to win this race some people think is unwinnable?
No, it's not hopeless. I think it's only hopeless if we say it's hopeless and we act like it's hopeless. This place, I think there's enough people who are disenfranchised over the last 7 years under Governor Pritzker. He's promised to do all kinds of things, but he's got a super majorities all his whole tenure, and yet he's failed to bring down property taxes. He's failed to make schools better. He doubled the gas tax. People are leaving under his watch. Population shrinking. He owns this problem, and I think if we can prosecute the case well, and say, hey, we can do so much better. I don't know why we should be accepting of the fact that Illinois is kind of a laughingstock in many places. We should be competing with Texas, with Florida, with Tennessee, for growth and opportunity. Look, we got this Chicago, this amazing city that's ready to explode. But right now we're going the wrong way. We're protecting criminals instead of our victims, and we're protecting illegal immigrants over everyday Illinoisans. We've got it all wrong, and I think we should be hopeful to turn this around.
Ted Dabrowski joining us right now just announced his run for Illinois governor as a Republican. You can learn more about him and consider supporting his campaign if you so choose. I want to ask you about the mood in the state of Illinois. Of course, downstate there, the state's a pretty red state, but 67% of the county or of the state lives in Cook County. My understanding is we need maybe 22%, 25% is a landslide, according to what I've talked about with some Republican committee women across the state of Cook County. You don't have to turn Cook County red. You have
Correct.
to get like a fourth of it. How are you going to achieve that goal to make sure that Cook County goes, you know what, this guy's not that bad, we're going to give him a chance?
Well, yeah, first of all, I chose a lieutenant governor candidate, Dr. Carey. And she's from the suburbs. I think we have to talk to the suburban crowd a lot. And she, she's focused on mental health. She's a ER doctor, 25 years working in safety net hospitals. So she understands a lot of the struggle for people. I also, I'm half Ecuadorian, so I can go speak to the Latin community, the Hispanic community. I'm half Polish. Might go give my try at the Polish community. But I think we have to dedicate our time to making sure that the disenfranchised Blacks get paid attention to. They've been ignored by Governor Pritzker, especially with the illegal immigration problem. And the Latinos also have not been happy. So we just have to get out there and do our work. But let's not forget Southern Illinois, Central Illinois. They have been forgotten by Governor Pritzker. He even told them the other day they can move out if they want to. Instead of listening and respecting them, he told them to move out.
Yeah.
So there's plenty of people to go talk to, Annie. I think the other big thing, let's not forget, Illinois may be run by Democrats, and a lot of that is gerrymandering. But Governor Pritzker only got 54.9% of the vote in the last election. It's not 60% or 65. So it's not that big of a hurdle if we can organize and bring people together and unify everybody.
So we're speaking with Ted Dabrowski announcing his run for governor in the state of Illinois. He would, of course, love to challenge J.B. Pritzker for that ultimate seat. You'll have to win a primary first. And I find that Illinois cannot find its way out of a paper bag in a Republican primary. I'm just going to tell you from right here, I usually look at the entire field of candidates in the Republican primary and go, all of these people on any day of the week are infinitely better than J.B. Pritzker. But there's a lot of infighting. It seems as though the Illinois Republican Party is listless. It doesn't know where it's going. It knows what it wants to do, but it has no idea how to get there. How do you plan with your candidacy to unite the Illinois Republican Party in a way that actually surmounts a victory?
Yeah, I think I'm qualified to do that because I've been doing this policy work for 15 years. I've been looking at the data, the research, the messaging, and I've worked with everybody from the South Chicago all the way to Manteno to East St. Louis to Rockford. I've been everywhere, and I've been working with everybody and building allyships. And I think my chance here is to show that I'm the unifier of the groups. I am not a firebrand. I am a thinker. I like to engage in well, we'll talk about Charlie probably. I like to engage in conversation. I like to engage in debate and logic of how to make sure that we do the right things. And there's so much I've seen of good things that go on. I talked today about reading, the great reading results in Bartelso and Aviston, which is not that far away from where you are, Annie. And this is a place that has the best reading results in the state. And they only spend about $8,000 a kid. Yeah. So there's a lot of good things to talk about and a lot of good things to replicate. And I think I'm the person that can do that. I've been doing it for a long time. I know how the sausage is made, and I know why it smells so bad. And so I think we can work on fixing all those things.
So we're speaking with Ted Dabrowski here. I keep saying his name because I want you all to be looking him up to see if he is somebody you could support. You brought up education here. Now, here's something. This is a point of privilege here because this is my show, and it's a very personal question, but a lot of people listening right now are going to be motivated by your answer. The Big Beautiful Bill passed something that is effectively school choice. And essentially what it does is it allows taxpayers to donate money to scholarship granting entities to help subsidize tuition dollars for kids who want to go to a school of their choice. And my understanding is it's accessible all across the United States.
Every state. If
the state opts into it. And I don't see Governor Pritzker having said anything yet that he is going to allow the taxpayers of the state of Illinois to participate in this system. Is that accurate? And how would you address it?
Yeah, that's accurate. Look, if you look at Illinois education results, Take Black children, for example. Only 9% of Black children across all of Illinois are proficient in math. It's about 20% in reading. And yet Governor Pritzker only brags about graduation rates, but he won't give these kids choices to go to other schools. He and the legislature killed school choice, the small school choice program we had a couple years ago. He should be embracing what's in that Big Beautiful Bill, and he should be leading it because that school voucher or that education savings account would give families more chances at attending better schools instead of the failing schools we're in now.
Yeah.
But he won't do it. He won't do it because you know what? It'll be a sign that he's going against the unions. He's going against Trump or So yeah, he's doing politically. He can't afford to do it, and that's wrong for Illinoisans.
Yeah, I mean, if the public school system is so great, then guess what, folks? You can still choose the public school system.
Absolutely.
If it's a wonderful school district you live in and you love the public schools, keep on keeping
Stay.
on. But if it's not, wouldn't you like a choice?
Right.
Ted Dabrowski speaking with us right now. I'm going to talk a little bit about social issues because this is where I feel like Illinois really gets messed up in their Illinois Republican primary. Ted Dabrowski, I am adamantly pro-life. I also understand, as somebody who's a little bit more keyed in the state of Illinois in politics, that the amount of victory that the Republicans would have to win in the General Assembly for us to outlaw abortion, to make it so that we are more pro-life than the state of Missouri, it's an impossibility. The governor turning red would have to partner up with a red legislature, and we're in a super minority in Republicans in both the Illinois State House and the Illinois State Senate. Where are you at on social issues? You can speak about any of them that you choose. And the chances of you working with a Republican General Assembly, probably slim to none. How do you govern as a Republican with a supermajorities in a General Assembly, or maybe just a simple majority in the General Assembly of Democrats?
It's pretty simple for me. I take a lot of common sense approach that I think most people would take. I think we can all agree that we shouldn't have boys and girls sports. I mean, that's a slam dunk. That should just be outlawed.
Yes.
I also don't believe that we should be teaching DEI and things like transgenderism in third grade and fourth grade, and that's what's happening right here in my neighborhood up here in Wilmette. They're teaching kids to say, hey, you can be a boy or a girl, and you can change it anytime you want. That's not the kind of things that we should be teaching fourth graders. That's something for adults. But not for fourth graders. So these are the kind of things I think we just have to be common sense about it. And I think most people would agree. Being a kid is hard enough. Don't confuse them with a lot of the DEI issues that just don't belong in the classroom. And it also doesn't belong, in many places. So we have to get back to good old fashioned common sense policies.
What's a stopgap if you have a Republican governor? I've heard people say, Republican governor's not going to be able to get anything done with all those Democrats in Springfield. What good is a Republican governor if the Democrats control Springfield?
Yeah, no, I tell you that the good thing is, first of all, the bully pulpit to expose things. Governor Pritzker will never say what's wrong in Illinois. He only cheerleads and doesn't tell the truth. He's not willing to tell. He doesn't level up with the people of Illinois. And I say that, he's a population loss denier. He says we're growing when actually the census shows we're shrinking. He says we have record graduation rates when the data shows our kids can't read. It's the same thing over and over. As a governor, Republican governor, you've got the bully pulpit, and you continue to expose all that to everyday Illinoisans, and let everyday Illinoisans choose. Do you want to continue on the same path that Governor Pritzker's had us on, or the Democrats with supermajorities, or do you want change? Do you want lower property taxes? Do you want your gas taxes lower? Right, all those things can change if we push it. But it'll be hard. There's no doubt about that. And I think a big part of the bully pulpit is continuing to eat away at Democrats' supermajority control in the state house.
Absolutely. We have the opportunity to do that a little bit here in the 112th district across the river, a blue seat that goes the way of however Chicago tells Katie Stewart to vote. Ted Dabrowski, I want to give you the opportunity to talk about a son of Illinois, Charlie Kirk, who was gunned down this week. It's tragic. It's horrific. And we're asking our audience today on our YouTube poll, which we do each day, is this a turning point for the country? I suspect that you might have met Charlie Kirk a time or two. I'm curious about your relationship with him or your admiration for him and what his legacy means for Republicans, conservatives, moderates, curious Democrats across the country today.
Yeah, I think, first of all, I've been kind of disheartened by a lot of the politicization of his death and his assassination. So I want to respect Charlie for the next few days and just say, hey, look, this young man was doing exactly what we need in America, which is to engage in civil discourse and dialogue. And even more so, it's exactly what we need because we need young people to do that. The older crowd still talks, I think. But the younger crowd, that's our future generation. We need them to engage. And Charlie was trying to do just that, not unabashed about what he believed in, but it was okay because he would accept what other people said too. And it's a beautiful thing he was doing. It's something I try to do when I try to just talk with reason, logic, persuasion, use the data. He's going to be missed because he was doing something that that we really need. And now you got to wonder whether it's going to just, put the brakes on what he was doing.
Well, last question for you. We're speaking with Ted Dabrowski. Has just announced his run to be the governor of the state of Illinois. He will have to win a Republican primary, and then he will have to defeat J.B. Pritzker, who's seeking out his third term. You know, the things that I guess kings do. J.B. Pritzker puts himself right in there as well. Last question, Ted Dabrowski, do you truly believe you can win this race, and what will you need from Southern Illinois to do it?
I would not enter if I didn't think I could win, although there's some people who could enter just to advance the ball. But I do think we can win. And this is, again, a great state. And I think if I can persuade people, there's enough hope, there's enough of us to get to 50% plus one, we can take this state back. I really believe that. I wouldn't do it. What do I need from Southern Illinois? We're going to have to unite. And people are going to have to look, there's a primary, and people are going to have to decide who is a uniter. Because if we don't unite the Republicans, it will just be fractioned again. So who's the uniter? Who knows the issues? Who's been doing this for a long time, not as a politician, but I've done this as I don't want to say an activist. I've done this as somebody who's worked with so many people across the state. Who can put all this together? Who knows what they want? Who knows how to talk about it and persuade the center left? Because we're going to have to get some independents and center left Democrats. We have to persuade them. And I think I'm the person to do that. And I would love to work with the Southern Illinoisans, the Central Illinoisans to the best I can.
Well, the website is tedforillinois.com, tedforillinois.com. I want to encourage everybody listening right now. And I'm telling you, folks in Missouri, you would be better served by a more competitive Illinois, certainly, if we had even an ounce of common sense down here. I implore the state of Illinois to invest heavily on the east side of the river here. There's so much opportunity, and St. Louis is dropping the ball, and we've got the beautiful view of downtown St. Louis on the east side. Let's do something with it. I think there's a lot of people hungry right now for common sense. It doesn't have to be red or blue. It just has to be something where we can all look at the common thing together and say, yeah, we're going to do something different here. And Ted, I hope that you have a very successful campaign. I'm looking forward to watching it. Annie. We hope you'll stay close.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Take care. Bye-bye. tedforillinois.com is the website. I think there are maybe a couple other people who have announced or are about to announce, and we will work to bring them on the show when they do, or Ted reached out to us, his people reached out to us to come on, and we were glad to do that. I always kind of hold my breath going into the primary season because, like, once you pop that balloon, you can't put it back together, and you're all in. But I will say that Ted Dabrowski has been at this for a really long time, and this guy is a numbers guy. And if the state of Illinois needs something, it's financial, fiscal, common sense, responsibility, knowledge, and I'm really kind of ready for somebody to go take over that job and be somebody who's just going to get the job done. Yeah, they got to win. Yeah, they're going to have to rally the troops, but I don't need to be riled up. The state of Illinois is disgusted with the way that J.B. Pritzker is running things. We have to put up a candidate that can be palatable enough for not just the Republicans, the 44% of the state of Illinois that voted for Donald Trump. We have to be looking at someone who's palatable enough for those people in the middle or those Republicans who wouldn't vote for Donald Trump to show up and say, enough of this Pritzker stuff, let's try the other guy. Maybe Drowski is that guy for you. We'll continue to watch his campaign and see if he's the guy for us. Let's take a quick break. More Annie Fry Show next. HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com, 314-227-9636, 314-227-9636. Matt Hayes, the owner of Home Shield Foundation Repair, has a long history of understanding foundations, of being the person to provide the best service for your concerns, and you can learn about all of that at HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com. But I want to talk to you about the cracked and broken concrete at your home, on your driveway, and your sidewalks. It's in the way, causes you to trip up every once in a while. It's going to cause someone else to trip up. Someone's going to get hurt. You need to get it fixed. You call Home Shield Foundation Repair. They'll come to your home. They'll come to your work if it's a business situation, if it's a liability there. They'll come visit you, look at what you're dealing with, and tell you what they can do for you. That's the right way to go about this business. 314-227 9636. You give them a call, tell them Annie sent you, and they'll come out and give you a quote and tell you, this is what we can do for you. Polyjacking is a cost-effective way to solve the problem, and it comes with a 5-year warranty. 314-227-9636. HomeShieldFoundationRepairs.com.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury. 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
This is your chance to win a free basic handgun skills class from the Range St. Louis West. Mark Cox here, 14803 Manchester Road in Baldwin is where the range sits, and you got to go. This is ideal for beginners, expert instruction. They have it available in a women-only class if you're more comfortable. Normally the class is $135. You can win right now. TheRangeSTL.com/971. Again, TheRangeSTL.com/971.
Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort, offering small ship experiences with a shore excursion included in every port and programs designed for cultural enrichment. Discover more at Viking.com. That's Viking.com.
Is this the turning point for the country? Better? Yes for the worse, or no, nothing changes. Go and vote on the Annie Fry Show YouTube channel. We'll be giving the results for that poll in the next couple of hours. The time is 12:40. This time check sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
JerryKelly.com. Midwest Made. 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis Conservative.
Light shine bright everywhere we go. Music for the people, making music for the people. Light shine bright everywhere we go. Light shine bright everywhere we go. Everywhere we go. Music for the people, making music for the people. I wanna magnify your light. I wanna reflect the sun. Cut like precious diamonds with colors by the millions. This is the only world we know, and for now this rental's our home. If we gon' be a reflection, gotta make this third rock glow. Just so you know.
Light shine bright everywhere we go. Music for the people to illuminate the show.
When I heard it, I was in the midst of, building a great, for 150 years they've wanted a ballroom at the White House, right? They don't have a ballroom. They have to use tents on the lawn for President Xi when he comes over. If it rains, it's a wipeout. And so I was with the architects and with design. It's going to be incredible. And they came in, they said, Charlie Kirk is dead. I didn't know what they meant. I said, what do you mean dead? Charlie Kirk was shot. And they thought he was dead because it was so horrific, And I said, dead? And it was like, I just told these people, get out, just go, you got it. This is the worst thing. This was so bad for our country. When I heard it, I was in the midst of, building a great, for 150 years they've wanted a ballroom at the White House, right? They don't have a ballroom. They have to use tents on the lawn for President Xi when he comes over. If it rains, it's a wipeout. And so I was with the architects and with design. It's going to be incredible. And they came in, they said, Charlie Kirk is dead.
When you listen to President Trump telling that story, and he says how he heard the news that Charlie Kirk had passed away, that he'd been shot, it's very clear that he, these are the type of human moments where you look at Donald Trump and you realize that the prestige of the presidency, the allure of all of, the separation that somebody who's a president of the United States, I think we do this with celebrities as well. Like, you just feel like they're different. They live different lives. They experience things differently than we do. And when someone tells you that someone has died, people say, what do you mean he died? I mean, there's really no two ways about that. A death is a death. But this tragedy is so jarring that even the president of the United States, of course, would hear that and go, well, run that by me again. That doesn't seem right. They do have the suspect in custody, and the assassin had quite a bit of backstory that was very, Antifa associated, very politically counter what the Charlie Kirk turning point conservative message would be. It was obvious that there was an issue politically with Charlie Kirk. Here's the governor of Utah.
That had been engraved on casings found with the rifle. Inscriptions on a fired casing read, "Notices, bulges, capital OWO, what's this question mark?" Inscriptions on the 3 unfired casings read, "Hey fascist, exclamation point, catch, exclamation point." Up arrow symbol, right arrow, and symbol, and 3 down arrow symbols. A second unfired casing read, "Oh Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Chow Chow." And a third unfired casing read, "If you read this, you are gay, LMAO."
That's the governor talking about some of what they knew initially about the suspect. I'm not really a big fan of whataboutism, but I absolutely know what the left would be doing right now if there was some sort of hyper right wing, and I don't even know, like, I disavow, like, this is the difference. Isn't this the difference between the activist left and the activist right? When you have people who label, people label, like, racism as something that is far right wing. And I disavow that as a truth. I don't believe, I will publicly say that if you are espousing racist comments, I disavow that as something that would be a part of a party that I would support. I don't think that the Republican Party in any way, shape, or form is racist. I don't think they've ever been racist. If you've studied, the KKK, if you've studied Jim Crow, if you've studied the Civil War, you know that the Republican Party is not the party historically of racism in America. It's just not. It's just the truth. I'm not even going to argue past that. If you want to argue that the KKK belongs to the Republican Party, you're uneducated and you need to study. It has been a political movement in the Democratic left. But I also don't think that the current Democratic Party is intentionally racist. So maybe what we have is racists who are in the Democrat Party, and yes, maybe they're racists who say that they're in the Republican Party. There used to be a time where we used to be able to point at those people and just call them a-holes, and not the party of the opposite opinion that I can now utilize and amplify somebody who's an a-hole racist for my political gain. So you amplify this hatred behavior. Shouldn't we isolate it? Shouldn't we maroon it to some island where they get zero attention for their hateful, bigoted views? I don't see people in the Democrat Party standing up right now and disavowing the activist views of maybe just a few tiny people who want to ascribe themselves to the Democrat Party. I don't see them, when it comes to the Gaza issue. I don't see them trying to disavow as a party those types of ancillary, hateful, bigoted views. It just kind of sits there and festers. There's probably a lot more that we agree on in the middle. There's probably a lot more that we could debate over and compromise on in the middle. And those things that are in the fringe, the parties themselves should call it out. And I've seen the Republican Party call it out. I've seen the Republican Party push it out. And I haven't seen the Democrat Party push it out. So now's the time. And there's an opportunity. There are some people who are doing that. The question is, do you do it from within the party or do you leave the party? I didn't leave the Democrat Party. The Democrat Party left me. The YouTube live chat poll for today, is this the turning point for the country? Yes for the better, yes for the worse, no, nothing changes. Birthday boy Ethan, what do you say?
A very hopeful yes for the better, right? My fear is that, here's the sad part, is it takes one person for all of a sudden it to be yes for the worse.
Yeah.
It takes one person. And we know that there's radicals. We know that there's radicals on both sides. And I fear that the large majority can say, no, this is not right. But it just takes one for all of a sudden everything to go from in large part, united message of yes, we need to change, we need to move forward, we need to remember Charlie, and we need to fill that void together. It takes one person to try and break all that apart and divide everyone further than ever.
Well, we want to know what you think about this as well. Annie Fry YouTube live chat poll for today. Is this the turning point for the country? Yes for the better, yes for the worse, or no, nothing changes? Come vote, leave a comment. We're going to read your comments here throughout the course of the show. When we come back, you filling in for the B or not the B?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes. Ryan Wiggins.
Buckle up.
Ryan Wiggins is out, turns the reins over to Ethan. We'll get to that next. Don't go away.
Light shine bright, light shine bright. Light shine bright, light shine bright. Lights in the city might be more than pretty. That freaky shine might be more than meets the eye. Anytime you see the sparkle in the dark, you might look deeper. It might be more than simply theater. Yo, that smile might be joy that's connected to the spirit. The spirit might be contagious. If you dare come near it. I remember, can't forget. Peace that you can't second guess. Sparkle as the light reflects. We write and pay it forward checks.
Light shine bright everywhere we go. Music for the people too.
So the fall is almost here. Cooler weather is almost here. Let's just pretend this weekend's not happening and it's not currently 89 degrees outside. You're going to be thinking about popping that furnace on. And if you need a new furnace, boiler, heat pump, or an entire HVAC system, you're going to want to call Corey Malone at 314-513-0091 and hire the team at Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. For a limited time, Carrier Cool Cash rebates are back. You can save up to $2,100 in Carrier Cool Cash on qualifying HVAC equipment. Plus, let me add something on top of that. You can qualify for 0% financing for up to 72 months and tax credits. This is a good time to call Air Comfort Service and see how you can save utilizing their services. Reach out to them at 314-513-0091. They are a 10-time winner of Carrier's President's Award and St. Louis Magazine A-List winner for Best Heating and Air Conditioning Company for the second year in a row. 314-513-0091. That's 314-513-0091. AirComfortService.com.
Sunday, the Chiefs are back on 97.1 FM Talk. Tune in for the game at 3:25 with pregame coverage starting at 2. 97.1 FM Talk this Sunday with the Chiefs. Game time 3:25.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-700-6898. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-700-6898. That's 800-700-6898. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898.
Annie Fry, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Range. It's the Annie Fry Show.
Wiggins. Oh, Wiggins.
The B or not the B.
Looks like you didn't put a snarky Ethan B or not the B. Wiggins American then.
He didn't make one.
He's maybe he's showing some mercy.
Slacking. No, he's slacking.
That's probably
He hadn't
more
thought about
accurate.
it, but if he does think about it, next time, brace yourself.
Oh, God.
It's the disappointing. That is my favorite part of the normal Wiggins America one.
All right, shall we get started with the B or not the B?
Ready when you are.
I guess I should probably explain what it is to those that have never heard it before. This is a segment, like I said, titled The B or Not the B, where I read a story and you, the listener, have to decide if it is real or if it is satire from the Babylon Bee. So we go ahead and we start with this one. Tough on crime Democrats propose 100 strikes in your outlaw.
Tough on crime Democrats, 100 strikes and you're out. It's kind of believable. I'm going to say B.
It's a B.
It is indeed the B. Facing heavy criticism for going easy on violent criminals, a group of Democrats sought to prove that they are tough on crime by proposing a bold new 100 strikes and you're out law. The new initiative, brought forward by Democrats, was praised by media outlets as a step in the right direction to hold violent, murderous criminals accountable after they have brazenly committed 100 horrific acts against innocent victims. And then even Chuck Schumer's quoted here saying, at some point, enough is enough.
At some point.
There's a lot of those.
It's more than 14.
There's
15th time's the charm.
There's a lot of those with the B, right, that just feel like they could easily be real.
Yeah.
That's one of them, unfortunately.
Yeah.
On to the next one. Annual Wikipedia fundraiser says for just $2.75, you can help them censor truth.
That sounds real.
Read it one more time.
Annual Wikipedia fundraiser says for just $2.75, you can help them censor truth.
That's the B.
You said real, Annie?
I did.
All right, it is the B. Out of San Francisco, California, what a shocker there, internet users were given another rare opportunity to play a role in the dissemination of agenda-driven misinformation, as the annual Wikipedia fundraiser said that for just $2.75, you could help them censor the truth. The popular user-edited Encyclopedia Online announced its yearly pledge drive, telling visitors to the website that for just that small donation, they too could have a hand in altering facts and deleting accurate information for users around the globe.
Actual pop-up on Wikipedia, I didn't catch this truth part at the end of that, so I get it to be the internet. We were promised an important update for readers in the United States. This is just wikipedia.org. You deserve an explanation, so please don't skip this 1-minute read. Reading it for everybody, Wiki. If you've lost count of how many times you visited Wikipedia this year, we hope that means it's given you at least $2.75 of knowledge. If so, please join the 2% of readers who give to keep this resource available for all. Later on, it says, if you are undecided, remember most readers don't donate, so any contribution helps, and monthly gifts are the best option for a lasting impact. So if Wikipedia provides you with $2.75 of knowledge, please donate today. It's funny that they don't ever say, like, wait here, before I make that accusation. By visiting Wikipedia today, you're choosing a free and fair internet, a space to find facts you need without the discretion of ads or the facts you need. If that's not the subtitle for the Democrat Party right now, the facts you need, Wikipedia.
Pretty accurate.
I want to donate $2.75 to Babylon Bee today.
The next one, illegal aliens attempt to flee ICE by climbing fence around CIA.
Could be true. I'm going to go real again, giving it a shot.
Brad?
B.
It is real.
Okay.
This is a real story.
Right.
ICE conducted a raid at a construction site near the CIA headquarters in Langley, Virginia, and in the scatter from the construction site, some of the invaders decided it would be a good idea to hop a nearby fence. Little did they know, apparently, or maybe they did at the time, I don't know. But it happened to be a fence that was meant to keep people out of the CIA headquarters.
Oop, wrong fence.
From
Wrong
from NBC News, it says, trying to evade the ICE officers who arrived at the building site, some construction workers ran towards the CIA headquarters and tried to climb the ring of fences that surround the complex. As a precaution, the CIA temporarily shut down access to the agency to check whether the perimeter of the campus was secure. The workers who tried to scale the fences did not breach headquarters security or pose any threat, the source said. It's kind of ironic for a couple reasons. On to the next one. Let's see. We got another minute here. Okay. Democrats warn surveillance videos perpetuate stereotypes by accurately depicting events.
That's maybe a B headline about like reality, which is what they all are. B? The B?
It is indeed the B. As national discourse continued to be centered around highly publicized violent crimes perpetrated on innocent victims, Democrats warned that surveillance videos perpetuate stereotypes by accurately depicting events.
All right. Well, thank you, Ethan, for filling in on the B or not the B. Here's what we're going to do in the next hour. We are going to take listener calls on the YouTube live chat poll. Is this the turning point for the country? Yes, for the better. Yes, for the worse. or no, nothing changes. We want to know what you think. 314-241-9797. 314-241-9797. Hold your place in line. We'll be back in about 5 minutes from right now with your phone calls. Don't go away.
Attention St. Louis Medicaid members. If you need assistance with daily living, you can receive a free service from Freedom Care in your own home from a loved one who lives with you. With Freedom Care, you decide who provides your daily care, helping you with preparing meals, bathing, laundry, transportation, and more. A family member or friend that gets paid instantly. It's all through Medicaid, and as a St. Louis resident, it's 100% free to you. Freedom Care Family will guide you through enrollment, making it stress-free for patients and caregivers. With over 7,000 five-star Google reviews, we've perfected at-home care for Medicaid members and caregivers. If you live in the St. Louis area, this service is free to you through Medicaid, and with our InstaPay app, caregivers can choose to get paid instantly. So go to freedomcare.com or call 314-697-4912. 314-697-4912. That's 314-697-4912.
Infinite-vitality.com. I've talked to you a lot about the hormone replacement therapy that I'm doing, weight loss therapies as well with them. I highly, highly recommend that you give yourself the opportunity, men and women alike, to get your vitality back. 618-486-1888, 618-486-1888. There are also other services that they provide, including skin care. You can reverse the signs of aging with regenerative skin procedures. This can give brand new life back into your skin that is showing a bit of the signs of aging. They're a one-stop shop for getting your vitality back, making you feel good in your skin once again. You can also ask them about weight loss. Patients consistently losing 8 pounds a month. That is managed by a team to support whether or not you plateau or whether you're doing great. You can be monitored in a healthy way, and you can talk to them about peptides, tirzepatide and semaglutide. If you call them, $400 for 2 months, starting special for new patients. This is an affordable way to get started, and it's at Infinite Vitality, infinite-vitality.com.
Mark Cox here. Join me, Mark Reardon, and Annie Fry, along with Thomas Helbig of the Retirement Advisory Group for the last Protecting Your Retirement educational event of the year. It's Thursday, October 2nd at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. Here's Thomas with more.
Are you nearing retirement or already retired and wondering if your 401k and IRA will last through your lifetime? Do you have your own personalized structured income plan set up? The markets are hitting all-time highs. Would you like to learn how to automatically lock in your gains without having to sell? Did you also know if you're 59 and a half or older, you can roll over your company retirement plan tax-free to protect your nest egg? You'll get all the answers and more. If you're 59 and a half or older, you can't afford to miss the last event of the year.
Protect your retirement nest egg. Join the official financial advisor of my show, Thomas Helbig, at the Frontenac Hilton, Thursday, October 2nd at 6:30. Go online to retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon for the Doctors at Ophthalmology Associates. We call them the Doctors because they've treated more than 250 doctors, more than any other practice in St. Louis. So if you're looking for the best doctors for your best vision, it's Ophthalmology Associates. Doctors Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, and Andy Royer. Doctors Birdie and Malhotra are cornea surgeons and experts in the diagnosis and treatment of diseases of the eye. I had an eye disease when I was younger. It left me with a silicone buckle around my right eye, so I put my trust in Ophthalmology Associates to take care of my annual checkups. Maybe you're experiencing dry eye, allergy eyes. They can help. They can help with cataracts, macular degeneration, glaucoma, and LASIK surgeries. And if you're looking for the best eye care, it's Ophthalmology Associates. Make an appointment today by calling 314-966-5000 or online at youridoc.com. They have a great office location just west of 270 on Manchester Road. Again, the phone number, 314-966-5000. The website, youridoc.com. Ophthalmology Associates.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well,
I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/radio for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
That summertime feel is building this afternoon, and it's in place not only over the weekend, but well into next week. Sunny, hot, a little more humid this afternoon, 95. Clear skies, 71 for the overnight low. Saturday, sunny, hot, and humid, 96. Sunday, partly sunny, maybe a spot afternoon storm, and 95 degrees. Those spot storms are really hard to find. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live, sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. If you need a new air conditioner installed this summer, call a company you can trust to install your AC properly. That will get your home cool and comfortable fast. For a free estimate on a new air conditioner, visit aircomfortservice.com.
Annie Fry, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Ray.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
For goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
Well, we spent the last hour talking to Ted Dabrowski. He is a president of WirePoints. He previously was the vice president of policy and spokesman for the Illinois Policy Institute. He has announced his candidacy to win the Republican nomination to be governor of the state of Illinois. I encourage you to check out the podcast and listen to what Ted had to say, see if he has your support. You can go to tedforillinois.com to learn more there. We are talking, of course, about the development that was released this morning, that they do have in custody the suspect who assassinated Charlie Kirk, and those are words that are still difficult to say, still difficult to accept, and we all have to ask ourselves what happens next. Our YouTube poll for today, is this the turning point for the country? Yes for the better, yes for the worst, or worse, or no, nothing changes. Vicky said, I say yes for the worst, though. The left does not want to make this better. They want their opposition gone. However, that has to happen. The only caveat I would say to that, Vicky, is I don't think that that's what the actual, like, the people who vote Democrat, I don't think that those are those people. I think we have people who are maybe in influencer territory in political parties that are trying to get attention. They probably believe the things that they're saying, even when they're heinous. We need to have a society and a culture that calls out those things and says, you need to stop. Just knock it off, stop. We're not accepting this anymore. This is not how a civil society behaves. I think that's the thing we can pull from Charlie, outside of his faith, which we've talked about a lot this week. I think that when you look at his rabid engagement in civil discourse, that is the thing that we can walk away from with Charlie Kirk and walk into the next thing and try to amplify the understanding of civil discourse and essentially an agreement to disagree in a civil way. 314-241-9797. We're going to take some phone calls here on that specific question. Is this the turning point for the country? Yes for the better, yes for the worse, or no, nothing changes. Let's start here with Austin. Austin, thanks for calling the Annie Fry Show. What do you think about this moment for the country?
Well, I appreciate you allowing me on to your show, and I've been a big fan for a very long time. I think it's definitely heading in the right direction with this incident, and that's mainly because what I was referring to and talked to the gentleman who answered the phone originally, I was just saying that I've been a long-time follower of Charlie Kirk, a long-time listener to your show as well, but I've always been like a silent follower. I don't post things, I don't say things, I don't really show my support on social media in any way, shape, or form. I try and stay as neutral as possible. And learning about what happened to Charlie a couple days ago, like, it changed me. It woke me up, is what I was saying earlier.
Austin, what is it about? What is it about? You said that you kind of, it doesn't sound like you changed your political beliefs, but maybe your approach. What is it that you feel compelled to do now that maybe you didn't before this incident happened?
Not necessarily being worried about what other people's opinions on my views are. And like, I feel more confident and willing to share those views and be more open with those views. Because usually it's just, I always look, I never post. I always see what other people post. I never really post anything on my own or say anything on my own. I just listen. And I think that's it's allowed me to be more comfortable in my own skin and my own approach and my own opinions.
Austin, just before we let you go, several listeners in the YouTube chat are curious about your age, if you don't mind my asking. You can give me an age range if you don't want to say specifically.
I am 29.
29. Austin, we appreciate your phone call. Truly, from me to you, thank you for listening to the show and being a part of this audience. And it's great to hear your voice.
All right. Thanks for everything you do, Annie. Thank you.
Thank you, Austin. I wonder the generational imprint that Charlie Kirk has had on the youth of this country, how much, you want to talk about long-term investment in the direction of the country. Let's get to Helen. Helen, thank you for calling the Annie Fry Show. Your thoughts on whether or not this is a turning point for the country.
I can only speak for myself, and I'll just preface with, I just turned 30 years old. I'm a wife of a first responder, mother of 3 sons under the age of 3. So my heart goes out to his wife and his kids. More importantly, I have somewhat recently recommitted my life to Christ. So for me, it's a spiritual turning point. As soon as I saw the news, I felt convicted, and I know God was telling me, get real or get out. So it's been a turning point in my prayer life, and I know it's going to be a turning point in my kids' life, my husband's life. We've prayed together for the first time since we've been married, which has been 5 years. It's going to be a turning point for myself, and I hope and pray that it's a turning point for others, and that the fire only gets fanned from here. So yes, it is a turning point, and it's going to be a turning point for the better, because this world is not our home.
Helen, I can only imagine the embrace that Charlie Kirk would like to put around you and your family for what you just said. I can't think of better words to honor him and his legacy than what you've just said here. Thank you for being with us. Bye-bye. You wonder, like, that's not even a political turning point. We're talking about spiritual here, and for a lot of people to feel emboldened to be who they are, to be something that maybe you grew up with but didn't ascribe to, you're kind of coming face to face with what you think, what you feel, what you believe, and that can have a reverberating effect on not just individuals, but like we just heard from Helen, families as well. Rich, thank you for calling the Annie Fry Show. What do you think about this moment and the possibility that it's a turning point for the country?
Hi, Annie. How are you? I think it's going to be a turning point that's very positive, because it's clear to see that Charlie had a big a lot of support for President Trump, and I think that helped President Trump get over to do the sweep that he did. But it's just a shame that our country has got into this, do stuff like this that is so meaningless. And we're not a third world country. We're the best country on earth. And I think it's going to change. People are too smart not to realize what's going on. So thank you for taking my call.
Of course, Rich. Thank you for calling us. We really appreciate you. 314-241-9797, 314-241-9797 if you'd like to call and join the conversation. I want to read a couple more comments from our live chat before we get to some more phone calls here. Doug said on the Annie Fry YouTube channel, nothing will change. This has already turned into people putting on their jerseys to blame guns and rhetoric. Erica says, I don't think anything will change. In a week or two, unfortunately, this will be old news. I don't think I agree with that, Erica. I think that the future is not comparative enough to the past. I think the loss of Charlie is too big to allow things to go back to business as usual. Betsy said, I chose yes for the better, trying to be hopefully optimistic. Russell said, no, you can use the media and social media as an example. I guess being a little disheartened by the people who are participating in somewhat of a hateful way, talking there. Ender on our YouTube chat said, yes for the better. However, the better, I'm pretty sure you meant, is not the better. I think things will become. So I guess there's ways to interpret that. 314-241-9797. Let's get to Michael here. Michael, thanks for calling the Annie Fry Show. Do you think that this is a turning point for the country?
I hope so. I really do. I think that, but it's going to take leadership. It's going to take our media to change the course that has been on for about a decade now. Like we've got to get back to hopefully having journalists and less of opinionated media outlets. The structure and way things is really spiraling out of control where, immediately when this situation happened, people resorted to their hate. They resorted to, Democrats or liberals, this, whatever, but I don't even know the background of who did it and why, and just resorting to what they want, which is a hate. And, the more that's used as propaganda, the more unfortunate situation like this is going to happen. It's going to be a part of our environment. So if we want our environment to change, we really have to change course in the infrastructure of how we talk to people, how we have respect, stop the name calling, stop the hateful words and degrading people's opinions and give opportunity to listen. He didn't deserve to die or be killed because of his opinion, regardless if people will agree on him or not. But look at the environment
don't
that we
say
have
but.
in our country.
Don't say but. Don't say he didn't deserve to die, but.
No, well, he didn't deserve to die.
Period.
But period. But here's the thing, and I hate to say but.
You are. You can't not.
What I'm saying is he didn't deserve that.
Period.
Right? Our environment, without having a but, our environment is a cesspool that begets that type of result.
Charlie Kirk, was Charlie Kirk a completely innocent man?
Yeah.
Completely.
In my eyes, like I don't think he was killed out of hate.
Yeah.
Now now here's the thing. We don't know anything about the person who did it or why.
That's not true.
And
We
there's
know a
no
lot
info.
about it. We know a lot about what about the person who did it.
Oh, we do?
Yeah. We know his name is Tyler Robinson. He engraved on the bullets fascist catch and some socialist Nazi-esque Italian language. And he talked about, if you see this, you're gay, LMAO, and stuff like that. Like, we have those understandings. We have conversations about what he's had with Discord. We know on Discord. We know about the organizations that he was affiliated with. He's 22 years old. We know what he looks like. We know.
Mm-hmm. And I'm just saying that, I haven't received all of those information. But I'm just saying that the environment that we have is cataclysmic towards fueling those things. And that's what I'm saying that I hope change. Yeah. Right. Where it's not a media outlet where there's only one-sided opinions and there is no respect for facts.
That's the majority of the media outlets that exist.
And it needs to change because this is not what you went to mass communication for. You didn't learn that in college, right?
When I was in college, Michael, I was told that Noam Chomsky was the center of left versus right and that Rush Limbaugh was radical. I was taught that in class, in a media class.
Yeah, we didn't talk about Rush Limbaugh, and I took mass communication as well. We talked about NBC Red and NBC Blue, and
my professors ridiculed Sean Hannity when I was in class with them. They were aggressive towards it. I had a professor of media law who was aggressively pushing feminist ideals. I mean, I'm talking about 3 different teachers in these conversations, and that was in the mid-2000s. It's gotten way out of control. I agree with you that the media situation needs to be toned down.
Wrong.
But listen, I have never heard of a university setting where a radical conservative teacher was indoctrinating kids in a classroom.
It shouldn't happen either way. that needs to be addressed. And that's what I'm saying as far as our infrastructure. People and young people should be able to go to schools and universities to learn facts and not be swayed to say this is right or this is wrong, but just learn the history and learn the facts, right? And unfortunately, we've become a propaganda machine in our media versus us versus each other. And you're wondering why no one is listening to each other or can hold a conversation, right? Our media outlets don't respect the opposition view.
Michael, last point before I let you go, and I've given you 5.5 minutes, and I know you listen to the show, and I know you don't agree, and I love that you call, and I love that you're willing to have a civil discourse here with us. I'm past a break, and I am appreciative. I knew when I put you on, I knew who you were, and I was glad that you called. But all I want to say is, in addition to your criticisms, which I think we would agree overall on, I think maybe some of the details we could agree to disagree on. I don't think that what we're facing right now as much is the mainstream media. I almost think that time has passed a little bit. I think it's social media. I think it's TikTok. I think it's Instagram. I think that's what's getting to our youth and radicalizing them. I don't think that they pay much attention to the mainstream media unless it's a clip on TikTok and somebody's reacting to it. So I will add that to your conversation and say both things need to be addressed.
Most definitely. And Annie, I would like to say that you are different, and that's the reason why I listen to your show and support your show. Hopefully someday we can have coffee. And, but I'm always optimistic. I believe that opinions can sway, and it's definitely a fortunate climate that we're in. But keep doing the work that you do.
Michael, I like coffee too. Maybe sometime. We'll talk to you soon. Take care. We agree.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, let's take a quick break. We've got full board of phones. Well, Michael's line just opened, 314-241-9797. If you need a little bit of time here to talk about what's happened this week, we'd like to give it to you here on the Annie Fry Show. If you want to talk to us and you call in and it's busy, maybe somebody will drop because they don't want to hang over the break, steal their spot. 314-241-9797. Andrew, Ty, Hennibem. Is that how you say that? Greg and Gary. And the caller being taken on line 4. We'll get to you next. Don't go away. Michael's Flooring Outlet online at igotfloored.com. You have a choice this weekend if you're looking for flooring to shop in a whole host of different places in St. Louis. But let me give you a minute as to why you should at least stop by Michael's Flooring Outlet before you make a purchasing decision. You can start that process right now by going to igotfloored.com. And I want you to understand that you're working with people who have been a strong and steady supporter of 97.1 for decades. And they've been in business for over 30 years. That's pretty fantastic. They have a huge variety of different types of flooring for you to choose from, and they have value that goes along with it. You can read the reviews on their website at igotfloored.com of people who have been very satisfied, maybe had a situation where something needed to get fixed, and Michael's Flooring Outlet was right there to make sure that the project was done right every single time. If you're shopping for a smart strand Mohawk silk line of carpet, the silky softness, the superior performance that you want to invest in with your hard-earned dollar, look no further than Michael's Flooring Outlet. 3 locations across St. Louis, online right now at igotfloored.com.
As the old saying goes, size matters.
At Morgan & Morgan, we have over 1,000 lawyers and nearly 6,000 people on staff.
But at the core, this is and always has been a family business.
Our family watching out for your family.
Call us or email us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, even on a Saturday or a Sunday.
And if you ever have a problem, call our mom.
Morgan & Morgan.
For the people and your family.
Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. If you're a renter, make sure you're protected. Renter's insurance includes options that cover stolen property, personal injury, and living expenses if your place is damaged. Quote Renter's Insurance at progressive.com.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Phones here, so we're going to take some more phone calls on our YouTube live chat poll for today. If you don't want to call in, but you do want to weigh in, We would love to have you join us on the YouTube live chats. You can leave comments there. Before you can chat, you got to be a subscriber for 5 minutes. That's all. Just kind of weeds out some of the trolls. But you can vote and tell us whether or not you think this is a turning point for the country. Yes for the better, yes for the worse, or no, nothing changes. All right, let me see here who's been holding on the most. Andrew, thank you for calling the Annie Fry Show. What do you think about this moment in our history and whether it is a turning point? Andrew, are you there? Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
So I was on the phone with my daughter earlier. She's down at school. She's got 4 of the roommates. 2 lean to the left, the other 3 lean to the right. And since this Charlie Kirk, since it happened, the one roommate that leans to the left was posting stuff online my daughter didn't necessarily agree with, but they can't have an open conversation about it because, of course, it causes a fight. You know, I think that's the problem. I think that's what Charlie's trying to solve, but I think that's why I don't think it's going to change right away, because people are afraid to still speak out. You make a comment online, if they don't like it, that you get bombarded, you get overwhelmed with these people just hammering away at you online, just trying to tell you wrong and calling names and everything else. I don't do a whole lot of social media, but I've heard the stories of people make one comment about anything that the left doesn't agree with, and they just get slammed by everybody from every different direction.
What's your advice with your daughter on how to handle a roommate that is posting things about Charlie Kirk that might be offensive? What do you advise her to do?
Well, I told her, I said, I got twins, and I told her, I said, you guys need to educate yourself. Know what you're talking about. You know, have an educated opinion about something so that when somebody says something, you can actually talk to them, but know what you're talking about. And I try to express that to them for their entire lives. Know what you're talking about. Don't just talk, nonsense, which is what I hear a lot of people doing. They just talk because they hear what they heard on TikTok or they heard what they heard on Instagram or whatever it might be, and they don't really look into what they're talking about. That's why Charlie was so good at what he did, is because he was so educated and so well informed. He can make an educated argument with you. And that's the problem with these people that try to argue. They didn't know what they're talking about. They're just running along with what everybody else is saying.
Yeah.
My wife and I were sitting on the couch the other night. We follow the news and everything going on pretty regularly, and we were watching all the stuff with Charlie unfold. And I looked at her and I said, politics is the new religion. It's no longer. It's people are getting killed over the political views, just like people used to get killed over the religious beliefs back in the day. People don't go to church anymore. They go to rallies and they go to this and they go to protests. But it's really become the new religion. It's really sad.
Yeah, it is. Well, stay with your daughters, and it's great that they're talking to you about it. You've done something right there for sure, Andrew. Thank you for calling. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, I would say that the best advice anybody can give these younger generation is to be informed, to read up on stuff, to stay on top of what's going on in the world, because it's going to affect them more than it's going to affect us old folks.
Yeah, that's certain. Andrew, thank you for the phone call. We're very grateful for it. Let's get to Ty. Ty, thanks for calling the Annie Fry Show. What are your thoughts on whether or not this is a turning point for the country? Ty, are you there? All right, let's get to, I think it's Hennybem. Is that right? Hennybem, thanks for calling the show.
Hannibal?
Yep.
Yes.
Go ahead. What do you think?
Yes,
Is this a turning point for the country?
I think, like the speaker just before, it will take a little time. I thought it was going to take maybe a little bit longer time, but at the event that took place there and the life of this young man is going to speed it up some. But it's going to take a little recovery for everybody to understand what has happened and the magnanimity of this incident, what it means in the whole world sense. It's going to make people think more seriously and not just see it as an entertainment platform for coming up and speaking to Charlie or whoever replaces Charlie. Because right now it turned out that this guy was shot and died within an instant, and everybody saw it.
Yeah.
That's going to wake up the nation and the young people. I think that is the turning point, and it will be for the positive and faster than I was thinking it was going to be. And people are going to take off, like Charlie would tell you, when they ask him, so what is going to happen when you leave? And he'll point to them and say, you are the one to take over. It's in your hands. So I am sad for it, but I think the country will be waking up seriously and making decisions. These young people are going to go away, and all over the country that follow him are going to see the importance of making good decisions They are too young to make the right decision, but this will wake them up to talk to older people to help them make the best decision as they grow into the next years ahead of them. I think it's going to be an extremely positive situation.
Well, from your lips to God's ears. So well said. Thank you so much for listening to the show and for commenting there. I love that. Let's get to Eric. Eric, thank you for calling the Annie Fry Show. What do you think about this moment? Is it a turning point?
Well, I think it is a turning point, but I can't see how it's not negative. First and foremost, the fact that they were successful is going to empower others with similar mentality. And we've had these conversations ad nauseum, and the people who are on one side are on one side, the people who are on the other are the other. We don't have, in my opinion, any short-term way to respond that would be in any way positive for this country. And if it happens again, I'm afraid it might be catastrophic.
Eric, thank you for the phone call. I appreciate it. I think that there is a lot of attention that needs to be paid to, in the immediacy of what happens next. And I know Patrick Bet-David said that originally he had said when he was on, I think it was Jesse Waters' show, he mentioned that if we saw something like this happen quickly, again, to somebody of the left, that to him that would scream some sort of outward interference in our country to try to stoke a civil war. And, I don't know that there's any validity whatsoever to the foreign interference. There's a lot of discussion about that. There were people reporting that yesterday that they were involved with some foreign intelligence, but they never said what that intelligence was. They didn't say if it was interference. That's never been bandied about in detail, but you don't have to have that be true to stop and think for a second, like, is that all it would take to get this country to go to war with itself? And if it is, we all need to take a deep breath and make sure that doesn't happen for our children. Greg, thanks for calling the Annie Fry Show. Do you think this is a turning point for the country?
Yeah, I think it is a turning point. It scares me that it might be short term. And I just wanted to point out something else, and I just want to get your opinion on it. So I remember 20 years ago when the Grand Theft Auto game came out, and all these kids are playing this game, and they're pulling people out of cars and shooting and killing them. The call to arms games where these kids are growing up with the mentality that it's okay to shoot people. And if I remember correctly, the Columbine shooting, when they had the audio recording in the cafeteria, one of the shooters had said something to the nature of, wow, this is just like, the game, Call of Duty. So, it just scares me to death. There's more and more young people committing these crimes, and they grow up playing these games, and they have any kind of discourse and mentality, and they might not be thinking twice about shooting and killing people. Just my opinion, but I think that's a concern we need to address with our younger generation, or maybe have some kind of guidance on these games when they grow up.
Greg,
appreciate what you guys do.
Thank you so much for the call. I appreciate it. And, a conversation with our young people, yes, but maybe even a bigger conversation with the parents that maybe turn over their children to video game systems for long periods of time. I understand that video gaming can be therapeutic. I understand that it can be an outlet for kids to just kind of set aside. We all need those things in our life. But the graphic nature of the games that kids can play, I think it really, what you really need there is an empowered and strengthened home structure that encourages parents to be policing the relationship that a child has with the video games and the video game system that they are utilizing. And of course, when they get a little bit older, you're loosening the reins a little bit. But what kind of influence are these video games having on our kids? Not every kid is the same. There's no government law that could be employed that would keep all the kids who could be incredibly negatively and detrimentally so impacted by the usage of these video games. There are a lot of kids who use video games and are completely fine, and there are parents who are policing it. But we are not having a reasonable, rational conversation about how technology, the internet, gaming, all of this stuff, social media is impacting our youth. We are going to have so many tragic stories, in my opinion, in the next 10, 20 years as the youth get older and they're like, gosh, I realize now that was terrible for me. What was I doing? Parents aren't doing this necessarily. They think they're helping their kids by letting them blow off steam. And for some kids it is. For some kids it isn't. But we should definitely be talking about it. Gary, thanks for calling the Annie Fry Show. Your thoughts on whether or not this is a turning point for the country?
Hello, how you doing today?
Doing okay. Thanks for calling us.
Good to talk to you.
Yes, I think it's going to be a huge turning point for the negative in this country. There's so many things that the government can do as far as we're sending drones overseas or whatever to drop bombs or whatever. Different countries are doing this right now. Why can't we use that technology at these outside venues like the Kirk thing and Trump to avoid a situation like this, to run a drone or drones over an area within a mile or so to scout? Why hasn't this happened yet?
Gary, I think I think it's an important question that needs to be asked, and I've thought about this. There's a two-part question here. Did Charlie Kirk not realize that he was so effective that somebody would want him dead? Like, did he not realize his reach and his power to the extent that they didn't employ a security plan that was efficient enough? And, secondly, what you're talking about using drones for surveillance, that's a pretty affordable thing that you can employ.
Yes, yes.
We're going to have to think about this in all sorts of cases in the future. Now, once you realize that something is insecure, I don't know what happens next, but I feel bad for the Turning Point Charlie Kirk security team that they're going to feel like they were very insufficient in this.
Annie, that could have been so prevented if they would have done something as simple as that.
Yeah. Gary, thanks for
save that man's life. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, let's get to one last call. Jackie, thank you for calling the Annie Fry Show. Your thoughts on whether this is a turning point for the country. Jackie, you're there? Go ahead. Hi, Jackie. Can you hear me? Okay. Yeah, she's going to hear this probably in a minute. We're going to let her go. All right, let's take also known as Lisa, spelled with an E, lisastl.org. I want to talk to you about Lutheran education, and I want to talk to you about the fact that there are 34 elementary Lutheran schools here in the area. If you've looked at a Lutheran school before and you've thought, I don't know if that's for me, there are a lot of Lutheran schools in areas that maybe if one wasn't for you, there's another one out there that can meet your needs. If you haven't considered it before and it's been years ago, give it another chance. If you are looking for an alternative to public education, maybe an alternative to homeschooling, you're ready to move into the next thing, the Lutheran Elementary School Association offers tuition assistance for people to make this a possibility. Go to lisastl.org and learn about the Lutheran school environment in the bi-state region. 4 high schools with 1 more to come in Franklin County in fall of 2026. Start planning now for your child, your grandchild's Lutheran education. Start the conversation. And remember, they have special education in most of the schools. They support IEPs and special needs. There's nothing limiting you peeking at the Lutheran Elementary School Association website and getting to know a little bit about what a Lutheran education could do for your family. lisastl.org.
You've got a ton of equity in your home. You're sitting on a gold mine, and you could do so much with all that cash, like travel, invest it, or pay off debt, but you can't touch it unless you sell your home. But you really don't want to move. And besides, homes are sitting on the market for a long time these days. You're trapped, right? Well, not with TrueHold. With TrueHold, you can cash out your equity in as little as 30 days. And listen, you don't have to move. You can stay in the home you love as a renter. So that's TrueHold's Sell and Stay program. You cash out your entire home's value and stay put. TrueHold even covers property taxes, property insurance, and essential repairs. So imagine using that equity to travel, invest, or pay off debt and stay in your home. It's brilliant, especially in this slow market. You get an all-cash offer now by calling 1-855-300-9993. You can also visit TrueHold.com, the smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without moving. That's TrueHold.com.
Today's YouTube live chat poll, is this the turning point for the country? We've got 3 options here for you. Yes, for the better. Yes, for the worse. Or no, nothing changes. Jump on Annie's YouTube page and vote. That's Annie Fry on YouTube, at Annie Fry. We also are going to have 2 opportunities for you to win some Beach Boys tickets, so keep listening. That'll happen in the 2 o'clock hour. The time is 1:37. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
JerryKelly.com. Built in the heartland, for the heartland. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Is the message to the right, the people that are going to go, I want revenge, not to have revenge? Charlie Kirk would not want revenge.
You want revenge at the voter
That's
box.
that's where to go.
But unfortunately, we don't have so many ballot boxes because they have mail-in voting, which is totally rigged. Okay. You know, there are a lot of problems. I like ballot boxes where you can. They do mail-in voting all over the place, which is rigged. Anytime Jimmy Carter, they had a commission. He said, anytime you have mail-in voting, it's a crooked election. Okay. And they got to stop. But I say, so I can't really say at the ballot box because in some cases, like California, doesn't have ballot boxes. They send out 38 million ballots. Nobody knows where the hell they're going. Then they come back. Democrats get more than Republicans. Right. It's so unfair, the system, and we're going to fix this system.
What do you got? So you got President Trump there answering Brian Kilmeade asking him on the couch on Fox and Friends. Trump was at the studio on the couch with them saying, you know, Charlie Kirk wouldn't want revenge. I think that is 100% true. I think the whole purpose of what Charlie Kirk was doing was to participate in political discourse in a way that proved that you could have political discourse without having to fight about it, to just talk. And, you know, Trump says he'd like to have it at the ballot box. And then he does this Trump thing and talks about how many ballot boxes there actually are. All right. Sports and local, you ready?
Hold up. Check it out.
Sports and local.
Here's the thing. I never know what to expect going into this segment.
Ryan's
he really did
just
nail it.
Clipping your voice and...
He told me at the beginning of the week, hey, I got 5 that are already made, and you'll have to play them at the end of the week.
It's probably the first 5 sentences you said in that day. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, done.
I wonder if he specifically put those 2 as the last ones, knowing I'd have to play my own.
I wish that he would have put your voice through AI and made it like totally whack.
Too much effort for Ryan Wiggins. Sports and...
He'll do anything for a good laugh.
It's very
But I guess
true.
if he's not here to enjoy it, it doesn't matter.
Very, very true. Sports and local. We'll go ahead and start with my beloved St. Louis Cardinals. Almost the end of the season.
Have they been officially eliminated yet?
No.
Okay.
In fact...
I said that to my husband last night, and I said to him, I'm pretty sure Ethan would have told me. So I'm waiting.
There's 15 games remaining.
Yeah.
And they're 4 games out of a wild card spot.
Of like the last wild card spot?
A wild card spot. So mathematically, they're not eliminated. It would take...
saying there's a chance.
It would have to be a pretty amazing 2 weeks to make up 4 games.
What's the magic number? I guess
that I don't have
okay,
off the top of my head.
That's fine. I should ask you before. Don't we have a bad magic number?
Yes, there is an elimination number. I just don't have it off the top, but I can get it for you.
What's the season look like? Do they play tough competition? Does it matter?
The rest of the year, you mean?
Yeah.
The rest, well, they face off. It doesn't start well. They face. They got the Milwaukee Brewers this weekend, and the Brew Crew.
That's where Ryan is.
Last I checked, yeah, they still got the best record in baseball.
Annoying.
Which is really salt in the wound because the Brewers, they don't spend a lot of money. They just do what the Cardinals
they got
for
that
so
devil
long
magic.
did well.
It went north. It migrated.
It sure did.
It certainly doesn't exist in St. Louis anymore.
It sure did. So the Cardinals will face off in a 3-game series against the Milwaukee Brewers tonight. Andre Palante will throw for St. Louis. And it's been a very bumpy second half of the season for Andre Palante to the point where, there's a lot of questions regarding the starting pitching and what it'll look like for St. Louis in 2026 because there is just so few options right now in organization. Felt like at one point Andre Palante was a shoo-in, and now because he struggled so much, unfortunately, I don't know if he is. So,
can you give me 3 really bright spots for the future of the Cardinals?
Oh, absolutely. It wouldn't take much. There are positive things in the works. It's just going to have to take time. And the one word that fans don't want to hear is that's the word really it's going to require.
Time?
I was going to say patience, but basically the same thing.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. New owner or new upper management coming in, and I think they're going to be very open and honest about the messaging. So what
Okay, time out.
Yeah.
We're gonna break this down a little bit. You just said new management is coming in?
New upper management.
So pretend that you're talking to somebody who loves the Cardinals and doesn't really get into the weeds with the business of the Cardinals, expects to watch a winning team, expects to watch a playoff competitive team, and for years now, we haven't had that. There's a lot of grumbling. People don't understand. I'm talking to the people who don't understand the inner workings of the business of baseball. What was that isn't going to be anymore? What's going to be new that people can say, okay, this is the shift, like super brass tacks, class 100 level.
Talk about setting it up on a silver platter. So here's how I would break this down. For the last, probably 20 years, no, not 20, a little under 20, 15 years or so, John Mozeliak.
All right, now we're naming names.
Has been either the general manager,
bow tie and chief,
or the president of baseball operations. He has been the top dog, the main decision maker for the St. Louis Cardinals organization.
Follow-up question?
Yep.
When you say main decision maker, what does that entail? Personnel,
everything goes
starting
through,
pitchers.
Everything goes through Mozeliak.
Game plan, day-to-day game plan.
To a certain extent, on the on-field decisions as far as how a lineup is constructed, and tend to be the field manager's job. But more than ever, a president of baseball operations, a general manager, is involved in those decisions. So Ollie Marmol has the freedom to make those calls, but around baseball, a lot of front office guys like that are getting involved in those kinds of decisions. John Mozeliak is retiring after 15 years as the top dog in the Cardinals organization. He is retiring after the 2025 season. John Mozeliak was widely known as one of, if not the best, general managers in baseball in the first half of his career. And somewhere along the way, things got lost. What made the Cardinals so good was their ability to draft well and to develop their own talent.
The farm system was always a bragging point.
We were always the team that was ahead of everyone else.
So you just said something there that I think is important to highlight. You're saying that it was, I'm going to say, legendarily great, and it isn't anymore.
Correct.
So 2 things are true. It's not he's 100% great or he's 100% awful. That's not as easy to get people all worked up about.
He is responsible for a lot of the success that the Cardinals had in the late 2000s, the early 2010s. Huge piece of it.
Some World Series.
He's also in part a huge piece of the responsibility behind the downfall and bad decision making and allowing for the DNA of the St. Louis Cardinals to get lost.
Can I ask, when you say DNA, what about, the thought of the Cardinal way? It feels like it's the Cardinal wayward at this point. I still believe that how Cardinals go about their business and when the Red Coats come back to participate, I bet you that in practice the Cardinal way is still alive and very well. But there's a little bit of quiet success that goes along with that. The Cardinal way is not exactly boastful. It's not flashy. It's petulantly annoying to teams that they have to play regularly because that devil magic that we were talking about before that you said is annoying about Milwaukee used to be kind of our thing. Mm-hmm. Is the Cardinal way still the way? Well, I do not like your hesitation.
Yes, but I'm just trying to think of how exactly to word this. Yes, but all of baseball has modernized, and the Cardinals have been stuck in the past. And there is a way in which you can still hold on to the tradition and the class that is very well defined in the Cardinal way, how you conduct yourself as a ball player, while still being able to modernize and keep up with the latest of the game, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense. Because I don't think that the Cardinal way is only ever one thing. It's going to evolve with time. Yes. But there's an integrity that is
correct
at the epicenter of that, which I still feel when I say I'm a Cardinals fan. Mozeliak retiring.
Mozeliak is retiring.
And then the future looks like what?
The Cardinals 2 years ago brought in Chaim Bloom. He has been an executive in Major League Baseball for a while now. They brought him in 2 years ago as a special advisor. And people immediately started, okay, that's got to mean something at some point. And then last offseason, they announced that this year he would be the head of player development and transition into being the president of baseball operations when John Mozeliak moved on from that position.
Currently head of player development right now.
Correct.
Next year,
president of baseball operations. He will be the head honcho.
Is he going to wear a bow tie?
No, I doubt it. He never has up to this point. That's why I say no. I love bow ties.
We do need to modernize, but I like the bow tie.
That is one of the big positives. He knows how to develop players well. He has done that in both Tampa Bay and Boston, revitalized both of their farm systems. And the Cardinals have some young talent that there is reason to be excited about right now that is both starting to work their way to the majors, and some of it I would argue that's already at the majors. There's individual pieces that give you reason for encouragement. It's just going to take time for those pieces to develop and for them to get back to being able to be one of the best.
Ethan, you know my son's a baseball-loving 15-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
Obsessed with baseball. He was born in December of 2009. Think about the baseball he's witnessed in his life.
Oh, that's awful.
Isn't that sad?
So sad.
Yeah.
I was 11 for 2011.
Yeah. Is there a better
talk
age
about
to
a
experience?
childhood dream.
Totally.
Can't imagine not having been able to witness that in that run.
Well, I grew up in the 90s, and stuff got real good when I could afford to drive myself to the game. So well, hopefully that'll be the case for Charlie as well. All right, let's take a quick break. We'll be right back. So I'm going to talk to you about Tammy Dittamore and why working with Tammy Dittamore of the Dittamore Group is a smart move at the very, very beginning of your real estate journey. So I am hoping to list my home, maybe I would say honestly, within the next year. Kind of depends on our home build and when everything actually gets engaged and starts going and how soon we need to sell it for the equity and blah, 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 blah. A whole bunch of question marks, right? Well, I've already started talking with Tammy Dittamore of the Dittamore Group because I want to make sure that when I do all the things that I need to do to get my house ready to sell, that I do the right things, that I invest the right dollars, and I don't spend the money I don't need to get top dollar. What's the market going to look like at different points of the year? Since Tammy understands that I'm thinking about listing my house, she can advise me based on the movement that she's seeing in the market. And she's also got me in mind in case there's a buyer that comes around that's looking for exactly what I have. 618-531-4652. Call Tammy Dittamore at 618-531-4652. Her entire staff with 50-plus years of experience are top-notch. They are going to hustle, and they are so fun to be around. You'll be glad you have the right people in the business, the most successful people, the number one team, and the number one office in the Metro East. 618-531-4652, thedittamore.com.
Scott Jennings here. I'm excited to be part of the St. Louis conservative conversation, cutting through the noise with unfiltered common sense.
Scott Jennings.
Weekdays at 8 p.m.
on 97.1 FM Talk.
If your kitchen's not even functional and you can't stand the look of your bathroom, stop just living around the problem. Let Lakeside Renovation and Design help you love your home again. From spa-like bathrooms to these beautiful, functional, custom kitchens to a finished basement, their in-house team over there at Lakeside, they're going to help bring any vision you have to life. They're going to walk you through every step of the process, the planning, the permits, all the things we don't like to do. They take care of it. You just have to dream. And they have financing options like 0 payments, 0% interest for 24 months. Schedule your free consultation today. It's lakesiderd.com.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. We recently received a call from an injured person. The insurance company had offered them $11,000. We took the case over and got more than $2 million in court. Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how linking to the market is much safer than owning the market for your retirement savings. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go to retirementkey.com.
with conviction and clarity. The Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
And now the end is near, and so I face the final curtain. My friend, I'll say it clear, I'll state my case, of which I'm certain.
So we're asking you on the Annie Fry YouTube channel to go vote. Tell us, is this the turning point for the country? Yes for the better, yes for the worse, or no, nothing changes. I'm also asking you right now to give us your Ask Us Anything questions. So we're going to do that in the 2 o'clock hour. It's Ethan's birthday. That's exciting. Woohoo. How old are you now?
25.
What's that feel like?
What does it feel like? I woke up this morning. My back hurt. Got up real slow. I was like, ugh. That's about it.
Your back hurt this morning?
My back hurts half the time when I wake up because I choose to sleep in positions that my body doesn't like anymore.
Why? Well, how do you sleep?
How do I visualize this?
Like this?
On my
Explain it to her the way you explained it to me.
Yeah, okay, I got
you. Already had this conversation.
Yeah,
This isn't even made up for
like
radio.
Literally this week. I sleep when my back hurts. It's because I sleep on my stomach, head turned to my left, and I have my left leg
on your stomach.
Yep, left leg is like at a right angle next to me. It's kicked up. It's like on its side.
You need a.
You following me?
Yeah, sort of. Can we take a picture and post it on our social media?
I don't care.
Of you laying like that?
Yeah. Do it right now. We can take this picture right now.
I can't. I gotta talk.
Okay.
Do you need a hip pillow, which is just an extra pillow that's like a king size pillow that's big. You need to do that so that you got something to embrace.
The problem is that the rest of my body is straight on its stomach, so I'm not curled to the side.
Yeah, but you need to change that.
I know.
Because your back hurts.
I know.
And you're old.
I sleep with 5 pillows, regular sized pillows every night.
Where do they all go?
Okay. So, one for my head.
Give me a diagram. Yeah.
One between my arms.
Hugging.
Yep.
Yeah.
One between my legs.
Yeah.
One at my feet, because I hate when my feet touch when I sleep. So that's 4.
You hate when? Do you wear socks?
No. Oh God. I'm not a sicko. That's 4.
You sleep with a pillow between your feet so your feet don't touch.
Yeah.
You might be weirder than me.
Sometimes
this is a fantastic development for me.
And then sometimes too, but at my head.
I'm just glad he hugs his pillow because I do that too. I thought I was weird for that.
My wife's is really big on.
Does she get any pillows? Does she get any part of the bed?
She sleeps with one.
The judgment on your face
No,
when you delivered that message.
She's fine with it. She's lays down for 2 seconds, she's out. I'm not like that. I have to be all set up.
She's like the man in this relationship, and you're like the woman.
Well,
are your pillows decorative pillows on your bed?
No, but what I was about to say is she likes stuffed animals though. Big stuffed animal gal. She's a big Stitch from Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah.
That's what she usually has her arms around.
I have the teddy bear I used to sleep with when I was a little girl. And I don't know how many people are going to remember this, but at Kmart, when it got to be kind of Christmas time, New Year's Eve time, they would have this white stuffed bear, and it would have a red hat, like a cold weather, stocking cap on it, and it would have the year on it. And the year on mine was 1988. And it's just a white stuffed animal, and it was it's the size of like a queen size pillow. Or probably a little standard size pillow, queen size pillow. But it was the perfect size for exactly what you're talking about. If you're kind of curled up, it kind of sits on your lap underneath your chin and you can hold it. And it gives your arms a place to go so they're not just everywhere randomly. Now, I've been able to replace that with a pillow, but one of my younger daughters sleeps with that teddy bear. And when I see it, I'm like, I still kind of want to hold that thing. But I'm 40 and I can't.
Why?
Because I'm 41.
So?
How long?
Use a sleep mask?
No. I have a sleep mask that has Bluetooth speakers in it.
Oh.
Headphones.
Whoa.
And I like that. I used that a lot when I couldn't sleep to put spa music or, just noise, kind of a white noise thing in it. But I don't know where it went, and I've been looking for it lately.
This is how picky I've gotten. So now I used to, when I didn't have one, I would put a stocking cap over my eyes. Like I'd drape it like low enough to cover my face. So I'd keep one constantly on my bed.
Yeah.
But now I have a sleep mask. And
you are a woman.
And I have to have white noise. So I have at least 2 fans on every night.
Do you put cucumbers on your eyes before a sleep mask at
Never
night?
actually done that.
Take
I'm
a
not
little
against
puffiness
it.
out of your lower eyelids?
No, my sister tells me I need to put ice on my face in the mornings to depuff it.
Your sister told you that?
Yeah.
Sounds like something a sister would say.
Yeah.
Ethan, your face is looking a little puffy. You should do something about that.
She would just say, "You look ugly as heck."
Oh, sisterly love. You can't replace it.
Uh-huh.
It is Ethan's birthday today, so give us some of your comments. Maybe we'll feature some of the good ones. And we'll talk about that in the next hour. We also have Ask Us Anything coming up, our next question segment. So leave us your thoughts of what you'd like us to answer. And you go to the Annie Fry YouTube channel to do it. We'll be right back.
Regrets, I've had a few, but then again.
TheDiamondShop.net. If you're shopping for jewelry, I want you to understand that the Diamond Shop is about as good as it gets in the St. Louis area for great prices, great value, and the top quality fine jewelry that you can find. They've been in business since 1910. That's pretty cool. If you shop at the Diamond Shop, you're going to meet some wonderful people. Tom, Mona, Nikki, the whole staff there, so knowledgeable, completely not pushy, excited to meet you, to get to know you, and help you find something that you are going to be so proud to have purchased. They're located in Clayton. They're online at thediamondshop.net, and they're usually running some sort of great deal for you to be able to enjoy. If you're looking for sapphires, this is the moment for you. At the Diamond Shop through September 30th, 40% off all in-stock sapphire jewelry. Run to the Diamond Shop this weekend in Clayton and see some of the beautiful pieces they have. Make sure you sign up to become a VIP on their website before you do. You can find them online at thediamondshop.net.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/radio for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Attention St. Louis Medicaid residents in need of care at home. If you need assistance with daily activities, you can receive in-home care from a loved one that lives with you and they get paid. Through Medicaid, Freedom Care allows you to choose who provides your care at home in St. Louis and they get paid weekly. Available to eligible Medicaid members in St. Louis. Call now to check your eligibility. It can be your daughter, son, a close relative, or trusted friend helping you with cooking, transportation, laundry, and other activities in your own home. You get the help you need, and your caregiver gets paid. Freedom Care has over 7,000 five-star Google reviews and is a leading choice in St. Louis for in-home care. If you have Medicaid and want to receive great care from a loved one, go to freedomcare.com or for faster service, call 314-597-1749. 314-597-1749. That's 314-597-1749.
Freedom Care, we're here for
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
You've got a ton of equity in your home. You're sitting on a gold mine, and you could do so much with all that cash, like travel, invest it, or pay off debt, but you can't touch it unless you sell your home. But you really don't want to move. And besides, homes are sitting on the market for a long time these days. You're trapped, right? Well, not with TrueHold. With TrueHold, you can cash out your equity in as little as 30 days. And listen, you don't have to move. You can stay in the home you love as a renter. So that's TrueHold's Sell and Stay program. You cash out your entire home's value and stay put. TrueHold even covers property taxes, property insurance, and essential repairs. So imagine using that equity to travel, invest, or pay off debt and stay in your home. It's brilliant, especially in this slow market. You get an all-cash offer now by calling 1-855-300-9993. You can also visit Truehold.com, the smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without moving. That's Truehold.com.
That's where I'm supposed to talk. We are giving away a couple of pairs of tickets today to see the Beach Boys. They're going to be performing on September 21st of this year at the Chesterfield Amphitheater. And if you are the 6th caller, then you can win yourself a pair of tickets to see the Beach Boys September 21st. Call 314-241-9797. That's 314-241-9797. The 6th caller is going to go see the Beach Boys.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
That summertime feel is building this afternoon, and it's in place not only over the weekend, but well into next week. Sunny, hot, a little more humid this afternoon, 95. Clear skies, 71 for the overnight low. Saturday, sunny, hot, and humid, 96. Sunday, partly sunny, maybe a spot afternoon storm, and 95 degrees. Those spot storms are really hard to find. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The Annie Fry Show is sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Air Comfort Service is celebrating 56 years of residential and commercial service, maintenance and installation, and heating and cooling systems. Get in your comfort zone. AirComfortService.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
They got someone here knows what they're talking about.
Left up, left right, gotta love this American ride.
Like, you need to take some time to get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid, keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Been this really, I think, dangerous and freedom-crushing fallacy that words that might upset someone are akin to violence. And I think that has helped, unfortunately, create a permission structure for actual violence in response to speech, which is anathema to the American project and anathema to free speech itself. And that has been at least somewhat embraced by a lot of administrations who have cowered in fear or worse. And Charlie was one of the people trying to push back against it by going there and saying, no, we're going to have these conversations. Here's a microphone. Let's debate. And he was killed. He was murdered in the process of doing exactly that on a campus of all places. And
Guy Benson, Fox News contributor, of course, they're talking about the death of Charlie Kirk. And, I think we need to actually have a real discussion about this thought that words are violence. That's been a big movement in the last decade and a half, maybe a little bit more, where, I would assume, well, statistically, I understand that the majority of this audience is older than I am at 41 years old. But I grew up in the 80s and the 90s with the understanding that sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Names will never hurt me, whatever you said when you were a kid. And the reason why you have a little rhyme like that is because you used it as a way to educate kids to say, if someone calls you a name, you can get past that. You're not hurt by that. There is a boomer and a greatest generation way of raising kids that, wants us to be tough, wants us to be resilient, doesn't really spend a lot of time really tapping into the emotional state of a child, of likely themselves. It's just not really the way that people outwardly express themselves. And I have to say, as somebody who is a millennial, a very old millennial, that there's a healthiness to taking a minute to think about how you feel about something. There's nothing wrong with assessing any particular situation that you're facing. That's challenging, that's exciting, to be able to live and express an emotion to own it. That is an important thing. But the pendulum swung so far past acknowledging that we do have emotions about things, all the way into it should be the driver and the decider of every single thing that we do. You can't have a society where words cause people to commit such violence. You can't. You don't have a civil society in that type of environment. And, I think about the impeachment of Donald Trump the second time around. When they tried to impeach him over January 6th, he had already lost the election. They were impeaching him anyway. They were trying very hard to make sure that he could never be president again. And they were accusing him of using all of this inflammatory language, which he did. I mean, he did, but everybody does. It wasn't particular to Donald Trump. They tried to make the case that it was. And the defense for Donald Trump, I remember, ran an 18-minute video of leftists out there saying things like, the Maxine Waters, you get up in their face at a gasoline station and you go up to them in a restaurant and all this stuff. Like, this is certainly language that exists on both sides of the aisle, but I don't see right conservative people being the political voice that's saying, take up arms and go to war, and literally doing it. I see justification of violence and physical reaction to political disagreements, and it tends to come from the left. We had a caller earlier today that was talking about, I think it was Michael, who was saying that we need to address the rhetoric in the media, the propaganda. I'm all for that. I don't want either side to do it, but I feel like one side's not really doing it. I don't want them to start. I don't want them to engage. But the repetitive nature of violent rhetoric, I mean, here's something that you hear people talk about: Nazis, call Trump Hitler, calling people fascists. Like, the people who are yelling about fascism actually are advocating for fascism. They just don't understand what fascism means. It's an F word that they love, and they throw it out there like crazy, and they don't understand what it means. There is a party that exists for free speech, the engagement of ideas, discussion, disagreement, and there's a party that is doing everything they can to shut it up. And, yes, to the absolute most extreme way possible, a bullet in the neck of Charlie Kirk was the way they shut one of the titans of the conservative movement, shut him up. But I think that I'm actually kind of amazed. I don't know. It's like something that I'm aware of and cognizant of before this event, but now I'm keenly aware of it. They just made Charlie Kirk a permanent titan in conservative thoughts, policies, and ideas. And you don't have to go out and read a speech that he gave. You don't have to go to a memorial to hear a tour guide say, this is what Charlie Kirk stands for. He is everywhere. Charlie Kirk is everywhere. And it is amazing to me, a true testament to who Charlie Kirk was as a human being, not as a conservative, not as a Republican, who Charlie Kirk was as a man. That if you search up Charlie Kirk right now, I've yet to find something that he did or said that he should be ashamed of. It doesn't really exist. I've seen people have sent me things that they've been sent, that Charlie Kirk said this and Charlie Kirk said that. People are quoting Charlie Kirk for saying absolutely ridiculous, heinous things. And the truth of the matter is, did Charlie Kirk say those things? He vocalized them, but he was quoting somebody else and debating the fact that what the other person was saying was absolutely heinous. There's no intellect in that. If Donald Trump quotes somebody for saying something that is absolutely ridiculous and then debates that part, and there are people out there who are utilizing the quote that he was calling out for being terrible, there's so much disinformation that exists, they had to shut him up. But we know that the left has tried to shut you up when they had the reins of power in the government. We know what the Joe Biden administration did to social media. to eliminate conservative ideas from being able to exist, either making you take it down, shutting down your channel, blocking you, kicking you off platforms, saying you couldn't talk about certain things. It's documented. It's not up for debate. It happened. Talk to Senator Eric Schmitt, then Attorney General for the state of Missouri, Eric Schmitt, about taking on at the Supreme Court level the Biden administration for the censorship specifically of conservatives. It goes further than that. The university system. You want to go into a college classroom and proudly be conservative? You better be prepared. It's not going to be easy for you. In fact, they make it so that the environment is so toxic for you that the best thing that can happen is that you don't come, that you don't show up. They don't want to talk to you. They want you to go away. They want you to disappear. They want, if you are in public, if you are on your social media, if you are in a position to weigh in, they want you so scared that you won't. So then it's like none of us exist. And if none of us exist, even the absolute most fringe people who want to associate themselves with the Democratic Party, they seem like they're the majority, the true squeaky wheel, getting the grease over and over and over and over again. I'm heartened by, and I've talked about this several times this week, but you can choose to dwell on the positive reactions in support of Charlie Kirk condemning the lunatic madman who took him out because he disagreed with him politically. You can choose to see so many positive reactions in support of Charlie Kirk. They're all over the place, and they're coming from, in many cases, unexpected accounts, unexpected personalities. And then, of course, you can dwell on the Stephen Kings of the world. You can turn on the MSNBCs of the world and watch them throw up in their mouth when they have to try to not say something hateful about Charlie Kirk. You can feed your mind with what you want your mind to dwell on. And I would encourage you to make those choices. You are in control. If it's in control of you, you're doing it wrong. And I found myself, talked about this on Thursday, scrolling as if something was going to change with the next refresh of my feed. And I was thinking to myself, like, I have to stop doing this at some point. I can't stay up all night doing this. I have to put it down at some point. And when I realized that I'm having that internal conversation with myself, I realized I've lost control. I've lost control of what I feed my mind. We have to be in control. Charlie Kirk himself said that when things start to go crazy, turn everything off, read scripture, be with your family, be with the people you love, essentially touch grass, understand what's real and what is important. And there are a lot of people out there trying to capture your attention, trying to show you the worst of the situation, and that exists, and there's nothing wrong with knowing that it exists, but don't miss all of the positives, all of the people who are making statements that, I see a lot of athletes making statements saying, what are we doing, people? Why are we acting like this? Why are you people celebrating this? And they're not people who are saying, Charlie Kirk is my hero. They're saying, what is happening to our civilization? Do better. You got to love that. Charlie Kirk would love that. So when we ask ourselves, what next? We have to be a part of amplifying the positive things and isolating the negative. Don't feed the beast. Next question, ask us anything. When we come back, Ethan, the birthday boy, will come in here and enjoy a little bit of whatever you want to know. Throw in the YouTube live chat poll. We'll pick some of your questions as well to answer when we return. Don't go away.
Why do you lock yourself up in these chains? No one can change your life except for you. Don't ever let anyone step all over you.
The Retirement Advisory Group online at retirementkey.com. We're doing another event, and I hope to see you there Thursday, October 7th at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30 p.m. The Retirement Advisory Group with Bob and Tammy Kershaw, of course, Thomas Helbig, are experts at ushering you into retirement with peace of mind, with the understanding that your financial security is going to give you the retirement security that you've always dreamt of. When you're 59 and a half, or older, you are now in a position to make some moves that are very smart that you don't want to wait on. You connect with the Retirement Advisory Group. They're going to tell you about those tips and tricks to make sure that your retirement is truly worry-free. And you can register for this free event on Thursday, October 2nd at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30 p.m. And I get there at 6. Mark and Mark will be there as well. We spend about 30 minutes trying to get to know you, to shake your hand, and it's always a pleasure for me to get the opportunity to meet some of your faces. You go to 314-993-9494, 314-993-9494, and reserve your spot. Bring some friends. Make an evening of it. It won't take long. It's from 6:30 to maybe 7:15 or so, and the rest of the evening is yours. Learn more at retirementkey.com.
When my wife and I got married after both graduating law school, we didn't have 2 nickels to rub together. Ultima had to give me her gas card just to drive home. We never could have imagined that one day we would have the largest injury firm in the world and $25 billion in money collected and counting. As good Catholics, we had 4 children fast. They all work in the firm today. Our family protecting yours. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. But our greatest gift was years away, grandchildren. Today we have 6 and counting. It's the greatest joy that we have ever experienced. I think about them all day long. Our family promises to protect your family should you need us. Call us. It's easy. Visit forthepeople.com and make sure you hug your grandchildren. God's final gift to us. Morgan & Morgan, for the people. Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Are you looking to hire? ZipRecruiter finds the best candidate for your job fast. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/free. That's ziprecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Next question. It's a legitimate question.
Next question.
Next question, please.
Next question on the Annie Fry Show.
All right. We like to answer your questions, your burning questions that you have for us that you are always very, very excited to get answers to. This is really an important part of the show. Ron asks, did Ethan get a haircut?
No, I didn't. I did not. But,
Not wearing a hat.
you're Ron, you're not the first person to ask that this week. So I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because I'm not wearing a hat.
Yeah, we're used to wearing a hat.
In fact, last week, Mark Reardon said to me, he's like, I don't know how I feel about looking at you without wearing a hat because he's just not used to it. I was like, oh, yikes. Geez.
I don't know how I feel about looking
Listen.
at you wearing a hat when you are wearing a hat, so you're just going to have to pick.
Why do you two always do this to me?
I don't think I've ever done that to you.
No, you haven't.
But I might talk to Mark Reardon, and we might go in on making it a thing. A little handshake agreement behind closed doors. You good with that? If you had to choose always hat or never hat.
Ooh, good question. Always hat.
Brad?
I would go always hat as well.
Is there a reason?
My hairline is receding, Annie. That's why.
No, it's not, is it?
Yeah, it's starting to.
Well, you're 25 today.
Yeah, I know. I think some hair fell out this morning when I got out of bed, too.
Did it laugh at you?
Sure did.
It's mocking you and your pillows.
That was sick.
It's all downhill from here.
Why always
Ethan.
hat, Brad?
Kind of the same reason as Ethan, but so I don't have to get up and do my hair every day. So I can just throw something on.
Poor babies.
That's the reason.
I'm going to give Ethan a little bit of a break on that because you do have long, flowy locks. How long does it take you to do your hair?
Me?
Brad, give me a break.
4 minutes, maybe.
But that's 4 minutes that he could be sleeping.
Doing something else.
Sleeping.
I take a shower in the morning, and I roll the windows down on the way to work and air dry my hair that way.
That's pretty awesome.
That's impressive.
Yeah, it is.
Because I got a lot of hair. And I try in my middle age to do less heat on my hair. So you blow dry your hair every day, flat iron your hair every day, curling iron your hair every day. Less heat.
Oh, is that thing that you have over there every day?
What do I say?
hot, and points at it.
Yeah.
And what do?
You always go in hard on it.
Yeah. Like I'm going to touch it.
All right. Next question. Which one do you guys want to go?
I've got one here. What are your thoughts on vow renewals?
What are your thoughts on vow
renewals?
Vowel renewals. I would like to not renew Y as a vowel. I think that's not correct.
Vow renewals. I don't understand them. I think that if you make your vow whenever you get married, you said when you got married until death do us part, and you should mean that. And so whenever I see people doing vow renewals, my question is did you not mean it the first time?
That's your thought?
Yes.
Ethan?
I have a really good story regarding vow renewals that just happened.
Yeah.
Last weekend.
Did they not mean it the first time?
No, not that depressing. So I have a friend. His name's Aaron, and he's not married. Single Pringle. And
single Pringle.
He's a single Pringle, and doesn't quite understand, how vow renewals work. And he randomly asks me while we're on a group FaceTime with this group chat. My wife's sitting next to me. You guys gonna, get vow renewals soon?
Soon? You got married. You're married for 15 months now?
Yes. Yes. And I was like, vow renewals?
Gotta get them updated.
What are you talking about? He was like, what? I was like, you don't do that every year. It's that's something you do if you do it after a long anniversary, 10, 15, 20, 25 years. And he's like, well, I didn't know. I was just asking. He kind of got offended, but it was I'm sorry, I was just asking, to create conversation.
Single Pringle, Aaron, vow renewals, I don't know. I would never think of them as being a necessity by any means, but I can't imagine that they would ever be a negative thing. I would never look at a couple who's doing vow renewals and be like, oh, you've been having some trouble. Why do you think that?
That is pretty brutal.
That's terrible.
I'm gonna have to out myself when I say this, but it always seems to be an effort in a failing marriage. I've yet to meet a couple that has done this, that they're like, oh, hey, we're doing this as a celebration of something or other. It's always oh, hey, we need to refresh us and remind us why.
But does that mean it's a failing marriage if you need a good reminder?
I don't know. There's encouragement that they're working on it and they're trying to make it work and they're having marriage troubles, but still.
Because here's how I see it. My parents have talked for a long time about, man, we would love if we ever, for a 30-year anniversary, a 40-year anniversary, if we ever go to, Hawaii or somewhere they haven't been before, we would love to do a special, just a renewal of our vows.
Gosh, I'm sorry to hear they're having such trouble.
Yeah.
I know it's not looking good. No, I'm kidding. But my parents
Did you ever
have
answer your dad's phone call?
No, I didn't.
Call him back, Todd.
I'll call
We'll
you
put you
back,
on the
Todd.
phone. You call the station.
You do not want that to happen.
Call the
He's
station. We'll
the freaking
put you on
AD. He
air.
can do whatever he wants. I know my stuff.
I told him that this has become a thing on air the other day.
Yeah.
And he got so excited.
Good.
He was so excited.
He's the freaking AD. He can
Yeah.
be the athletic director of the Annie Fry Show. He can oversee the golf
The
match.
golfing! Yes! He's done it many times.
Do you think... Were you in here for that conversation?
No, but
Extended
I overheard the whole thing.
What'd you make of, since Ryan's not here and can't defend himself, he seemed like it seemed like he was not, there was no win for him at all to play me in golf. He couldn't just play me and beat me and be like, well, I beat you.
Correct. He felt like regardless,
He loses.
it was a lose situation for him. Is that correct?
I guess so. I told him, I even said to him off the air, I'm like, why would you hem and haw about this? You'll kick my butt.
Here's my thought. Is golf a sport that really
sport?
brings out the macho masculinity? If you win, you're a better athlete than me, or are you just better at golf?
I don't know, Ryan. You're not here, so maybe it's just your sensitive masculinity. I could be.
See, he played golf in high school, correct?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's where a lot of this came from. If he didn't play golf in high school, he probably wouldn't have cared. But it's probably because he has that background in it. if you, someone that hasn't golfed as long as him, came in and
I
beat
didn't start
him,
golfing until I was 30.
Yeah,
and
but
I golf 3 times a year.
that would probably, if he were to lose that, make him feel less than.
Then he just needs to own however good he thinks he is right now.
Correct.
But
which will never happen.
I would play him. I don't want to play. I don't want to I'm not going to make him play me in golf to prove something. I would want him to want to do it. I thought that he'd be I thought he'd puff out his chest and be like, I'd kick your butt. And then he was not like that. Super hem and haw.
This is because he's taking it too seriously.
All right. Well, I'm really sorry to hear about your parents and their vow renewal situation.
Yeah, we didn't really finish that.
No, go ahead, real quick.
They've always said that would be something very meaningful and special to them. But my parents have set a great example for what a healthy marriage looks like and how to love each other well, but also how to argue and how to disagree well too.
That's human.
Yeah. And have they fallen short of those vows? Yes, everyone falls short of those vows, and I have to imagine that farther into a marriage you get, is it that surprising to hear? Yeah, I would love to just recommit and just once again, it just affirm that this is the commitment that I made to you. I think it's a good reminder, if anything.
Yeah, I
disagree with Brad.
Don't think that it's a negative thing.
It's
not something that I would be running to go do, and at this point in my life, I'm not a sappy, romantic type of person, but I would never look at someone else and think that because of their intent to renew their vows, that implied anything other than they're still married and they're wanting to it's not a recommitment as if it wasn't happening, but I think just saying those words again and knowing where you've been and doing it again for some people might be really nice.
If you decide to do that, it's not the first thing you do in rebuilding a marriage. I have to imagine there's other steps before getting to that point. Yes, counseling, therapy, things like that. I feel like that is almost like the climax celebration of yes, we have gotten through some of the hard stuff, and now we're looking towards the future, and this is our commitment for the rest of our lives.
Next question, you got one?
Yes, I do have one. What's your favorite comfort food or meal?
Favorite comfort food or meal? I used to like ice cream, but I'm less so inclined now. Thank you, Terzepatide. Popcorn? I don't know. That's kind of a stupid answer, but I eat a lot of Skinny Pop.
Oh, Skinny Pop is pretty good.
Yeah, kettle corn. Mm-hmm.
Not a specific flavor, just popcorn in general?
The kettle corn kind.
Okay.
It's sweet and salty.
Brad?
Delish.
Favorite comfort food?
Yeah.
All of it.
The comforting ones.
Brad fighting his demons.
I gotta be careful. Comfort food was a big thing for me, and it made me a big thing, and so I'm very, very.
Is there anything you can't say no to? Wedding vows.
Chicken wings. I can't say no to chicken wings.
Ooh.
I love chicken wings.
You?
I wouldn't say I can't say no to them, but I do like them as well. That's not what you're
What's
asking.
your comfort food?
Yeah. I would say mac and cheese is a big one.
Homemade or craft or something specific?
Doesn't matter. I mean, homemade's always better.
Jared makes the best homemade mac and cheese, but he makes it so much that two of my daughters are like, can you make some Kraft macaroni and cheese? And I think he died inside.
Oh, no.
Woof.
Last night, my son goes, I want Dad's mac and cheese. I go, ask him. He'll be so happy. Just tell him that you really want that. And he did. And he's like, Dad, will you make your mac and cheese? I love it so much. And he's like, no.
What was the meal that he made for you the other day that you said you
roast,
liked?
mashed potatoes, peas, and gravy.
Yes, that one. Maybe the next time that he's mad, I can just kind of, hey, you throw in some mac and cheese.
Well, I'll just tell him that you're mad at him and see you get yourself a roast.
And a roast. What a combo.
Jared's like, get out the crock pots. Gonna need to be making roasts for everybody.
Mac and cheese or mashed potatoes.
Savory.
Yeah.
Let's take a quick break. More of your questions on the Annie Fry Show when we come back. The YouTube live chat poll. Is this the turning point for the country? Yes for the better, yes for the worse, or no, nothing changes. Annie Fry YouTube channel, go vote. We'll be right back.
If it's time for new windows, there's only one place to call. That is Window World. Mark Cox here. Call my friends at Window World at 314-993-1800 for your free estimate today. If you have any questions, they'll be glad to send someone out to explain all of it to you. You can even schedule right online at windowworldstl.com. You know, there's a lot of high-interest financing out there, but here's what Window World's doing. Right now, they're offering 18 up to 36 months, same as cash financing with approved credit. You can't beat that. You also get a lifetime warranty that covers all of the parts, the glass breakage, and labor. Who else stands behind their product like that? Over half the appointments Window World will set this year are from previous customers or referrals from those customers. That is a testimony to their customer service, their quality, and their commitment to creating loyal customers. That's what you get with Window World. Call them at 314-993-1800, windowworldstl.com.
We know there's a lot that can go on during one night of baseball. Long home runs, epic pitching performances, catches that defy space, time, and gravity.
Climbing the wall. Did he catch it? He did!
But what if you could get all of that summarized in a quick, concise, and at least we think, funny podcast that's under 10 minutes? Check out MLB.com's morning lineup. It runs Monday through Friday mornings on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you love listening most.
Attention, have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-894-7722. That's 800-894-7722. Again, 800-894-7722.
We here at the Annie Fry Show are people of our word, and we said we were going to give away more tickets to the Beach Boys, and that's what we're doing right now. Your chance to win tickets to the Beach Boys right now, September 21st, 2025 at the Chesterfield Amphitheater. Last chance to win tickets. The number is 314-241-9797, 314-241-9797. If you are the 7th caller, you are going to go see the Beach Boys at the Chesterfield Amphitheater on September 21st. The time is 2:34. This time check sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
From Alton to Wildwood, 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. We've got a YouTube live chat poll up. We want to know what you think about it. We want to know on the Annie Fry YouTube channel, is this the turning point for the country? Yes for the better, yes for the worse, or no, nothing changes. We want questions from you, or we want comments from you there on the Annie Fry YouTube live. Jim says nothing will change until Christ returns. Until then, we need to be praying for a revival, a new great awakening. Brad, what's your answer to this question today?
I feel like I'm an optimist. I think that, yes, things are going to change for the better. And I think when I say that, keep in mind that I'm saying that it's going to change for the better in spite of those that are doing the atrocious things, whatever side you want to say on. I think that the basically the adults in the room are going to take back control from the loudest people on the edges and on the fringes, and they're going to push them back to the fringes, and we are going to have a normal country again.
Mortimer comments, how do I respond to a friend, coworker who states or implies that Charlie Kirk was partly responsible for this horrific tragedy? I know I have less than zero tolerance for that right now. Advice needed. I think, Mortimer, that is advisable. It's commendable that you are acknowledging that you are in a state of mind where your zero tolerance for something like this might cause you to respond with a significant amount of emotion. And I think that's warranted. I think that is completely natural. But I'll ask you guys both and get your thoughts, Ethan and Brad. What's the appropriate way to respond to people who are acting completely foolish, completely hateful? They can't pass up the opportunity. Like, if you have nothing nice to say, now is the time to say nothing at all. They can't help it. What's your advice to people who are listening right now, who are encountering friends and coworkers and family members maybe who can't keep their mouth shut?
I think the first thing that I would say is, especially for things like this, it is so easy to get so angry that you need to be able to check yourself and make sure that everything that you are going to say is going to be articulated well, communicated well, and it's going to be in a way that's honest, but that is not hurting your side. Mm-hmm. That you're not building into their narrative for your side. And honestly, like as a believer, that you're loving them through honesty in that conversation as well.
There has to be compassion in the discussion, and if there isn't compassion, you can't have the discussion. It's not worth it, because if you're trying to meet hate with hate, it's just going to breed exponential hate.
That's why, because things are just so hot right now, like everyone's takes on this are elevated. I have to imagine that even the people on the other side, you're seeing all these social media posts, maybe that is their normal, natural response, but also everything's elevated right now, so everyone's putting out even more emotional responses. Like, let it cool down, and maybe eventually, let's hope that even with these people, you can actually have a conversation. But right now, because emotions or intention is so high, the odds of being able to do that well in this moment, I don't think are very high.
What do you think, Brad?
I think that if you don't have to respond to this person right away, the best thing to do is not to respond to them. You have to, I get it. Mortimer, that makes me mad too. That irritates me. It cuts me pretty deep. And whenever you understand that about your emotions and that sort of thing, it's best not to make a comment whenever you're fired up or whenever you're upset, because it doesn't really ever lead to anything productive.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, so if you can take a breath, step away from it, keep yourself out of the situation for a day or two or three or whatever it takes.
Or a month. I mean,
yeah. And then once you've calmed down and can have a productive conversation, then have that conversation. If that conversation isn't going to be productive, then it's best just not to have it.
So what do you think about these people who are particularly heinously posting videos of themselves and just laughing, celebrating it? It's not so much... the posts that annoy me the most are the ones who are admonishing the people who are sad about this. The people who are inserting themselves into the conversation. They're not defending the person who did the shooting, but they are offended by people who are upset that the person got shot. So let's set those people aside. That's the most annoying post that I see right now, because it's the most passive-aggressive, hateful way to be. The people who are laughing, mocking, posting things that are just like, you read that and you're like, what is in your head? What is in your heart and your soul? Is it appropriate for the internet to be doing what it's doing right now and seeking those people out and they're getting fired? Is it appropriate for the pursuit of those people to lose their jobs?
I think that it is fair that there is accountability for your actions. And yeah, just off the cuff here, as without having too much time to really process that question, I think so. Yes, here in America, we are provided free speech.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we are. But also, if you are hired by a institution, they also, to a certain extent, you represent like that company when you are putting yourself out there.
Yeah.
And that company has the right to say, we don't want to be affiliated with that. They're not saying you don't have the right.
Your legal right to say something doesn't mean that you have a consequence free existence for saying it.
Exactly.
Especially if it reflects on your employer and they think so. What do you think, Brad? Should people be fired over their posts?
I think it depends on the position that the person holds. Some of the stuff that stuck out to me was I seen like anesthesiologists celebrating that. I've seen, various doctors and nurses celebrating it. And that concerns me because that person then is in a position where their job is to make sure that they take the best care of the individuals that they are. And I don't want to go in as a conservative to have some sort of operation or something like that and be like, well, is this person even going to do their job for me? Or do they think, well, he's a conservative and if I screw up, oh, well, he's gone. Ha ha ha. That worries me. If you are working at a barbecue restaurant or whatever like that, I have less concern like that because there's less direct ramifications for what you do. And I didn't like it whenever the left went after the right and tried to cancel them. I don't know that I feel the same. I get it. This is aggravating. This is angry. I'm more of a let's show the whole world who these people are, but I'm not going to target you and say, hey, you can't have your job.
When you say you didn't like when
Cancel
the
culture.
left did it to the right, what was the equivalent? Was there anything that was to this level?
There was nothing to this level. There was nothing to this level. I don't remember any people on the right being canceled for celebrating anything.
No, people,
the death of someone.
but the people who were canceled on the right were canceled because they had a different idea.
They had the different idea.
That's not the same thing as saying like
that's,
person died and I am so happy today that it happened. Sucks to be you, Charlie Kirk. That's the type of thing that people are out there creating little TikTok videos and stuff of, just laughing and celebrating. And I know people are putting like Charlie Kirk, LOL. It could be something as similar as that. I mean, to me, is there an FAFO situation here? Maybe. As far as losing your job because you're posting hateful content. But to me, it really is up to the employer.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that pitchforks need to be sent. I also wonder, in my mind, we're going to take all of these people who are obviously mentally unwell and give them idle hands. I worry about that a little bit as well. There's some videos online of people who... There's specifically one, I think it's a man who just got fired, and he is in full-on crazy meltdown mode. And I'm like, I don't like that he said that his job was all he had, or he has a website or something, and the website is all he has left. And I'm like, I don't like a purposeless life that's paired with rage. That's scary to me. Next question.
Who was the worst VP pick? Was it Tim Walz or Kamala Harris?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm going to go ahead and say, oh man, I want to say Tim Walz, but man, it's honestly hard to differentiate.
Tim Walz didn't add anything to the ticket.
No.
They added Kamala Harris to the Biden ticket because Joe Biden said he wanted a woman of color. So he thought that was going to be an asset to the ticket. And listen, if somebody picks a white guy from Ohio, and Ohio is kind of a swing state, that can be a specific, the person who gets added to the ticket in the VP slot is absolutely meant to expand votes. So I don't think there's anything wrong with looking to make your ticket look diverse, but to come out and say that the qualifications to be the vice president, you have to be a woman and a person of color, that eliminates so many people who are qualified because of things that are the genetic lottery. Tim Walz was also a DEI hire in the Democratic Party. They wanted a white masculine guy, and the best they could do was Tim Walz. That was pretty dumb. I don't know if it gets dumber than that.
So did you say
Tim
your
Walz.
pick is Tim Walz?
I'm gonna say Tim Walz as well.
I'm certain that Kamala Harris added some votes as a vice president that didn't have to talk very much. I'm sure that was some sort of asset to a ticket. Tim Walz was absolutely bonkers dumb. Any other thoughts?
Well, I think I was initially going to say Kamala Harris because she was just incredibly bad at the job, but we don't know how bad Tim Walz would have been at the job, except he had some, I guess, experience governing, but you've convinced me. It is Tim Walz because he didn't add anything.
Who's the worst DEI hire? Ironically, it's Tim
Walz.
How bad do you have to be a bad DEI white male hire?
He might have driven people away from voting.
100%, especially the white masculine men. The one group he was supposed to throw into the support. The white dudes are like, ooh, a swing and a miss. Or as my kids would say, what an airball.
As Ethan would say, woof.
Woof. Exactly. Next question.
Would you rather be 12 inches tall or 12 feet tall?
12 feet.
Yeah.
Why?
Because I don't want someone to step on me. I don't want to be missed.
How many places could you not fit into because you're 12 feet tall, though?
How many places? You would have no impact on anything if you were 12 inches tall.
What would your impact be if you were 12 feet tall?
I could sell tickets for people to come see me.
It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
WNBA.
It's a dumb question, for the record.
It's fair.
I think the market value for 12 feet tall is significantly larger than 12 inches tall.
Yes.
You could sell tickets to come see a 12-inch tall person, but nobody would be able to hear your tiny little voice. You'd be going, hey, look down here, look down here. And everybody would be like, I hear something. Fix that squeaky door.
There's all kinds of 12-inch
Why do you want to be 12 inches tall, Ethan?
Because I can fit in places. Genuinely, you can to a certain extent.
My answer was
you
stupid?
can to a certain extent live life.
Insult my answer to your dumb
to a
question?
certain extent
What do you think
live
this
your
is?
life.
Your birthday?
You can't fit in a car.
Sure you
can't
can.
sleep in a bed.
You get a bigger car.
You can't fit
Like
inside
Sir
of a
Robert
house.
Waldlow.
Good luck finding a 12-foot tall doorway without having a boatload of cash on you.
You just stoop down and go through normal doors.
Are you going to want to do that every single time you go through a door?
I don't want to be stepped on when I'm walking through the door. I don't want to not be able to reach the handle. What good's a door that you can't even open yourself?
Babies don't get stepped on. They're not even 12 inches tall.
No, they get carried by people who are tall.
There you go.
Exactly. So you're
carry me.
Ethan wants to fit in places and be carried.
Hold me.
The most Ryan Wiggins thing that you've ever said. You're looking to eliminate your independent mode of transportation. Fantastic. Right.
I'm 12 inches. I would be 12 inches tall.
Okay, Brad, break the tie.
I'm going 12 foot tall.
Wow. What a dumb answer.
So much better. So much better. Who's gonna mess with you when you're 12 foot tall? No one. What?
That 12-inch guy's gonna be going, biting your ankles.
Eat 12 inches, you ain't gonna reach my ankles.
How high are your ankles?
Well, if you're 12 foot tall.
I don't think they're.
I just feel like life
They'd
would
be about mouth height.
Life would be a lot easier if you're 12 inches tall.
I think you're ridiculous. You're an elf. Happy birthday. Let's take a quick break. We'll wrap it up on the other side of this break. The YouTube live chat poll will get those results. Is this the turning point for the country? Yes for the better, yes for the worse, or no, nothing changes. We'll be right back. HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com, 314-227-9636, 314-227-9636. Matt Hayes is going to come inspect and determine the property repair that is needed at your home, at your business. When Home Shield Foundation Repair is involved in evening out that cracked and uneven concrete, they will use polyjacking, which takes polyurethane foam, injects it under the concrete, and levels it out so that it is now no longer a safety hazard or a liability. Also, they'll pair it up with a 5-year warranty. Concrete lifting works for driveways, sidewalks, walkways, even garage floors, and your patios and pool decks that you might be looking at closing up here as the summer comes to its natural end. Also, for commercial and industrial concrete needs, Home Shield Foundation Repair is there to help you. 314-227-9636. Call 314-227-9636 and ask Matt Hayes to come out and see your situation to give you answers that are cost-effective and a solution to your problem. HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com.
Bold, unapologetic, unfiltered. The Mark Cox Morning Show is covering the issues that matter to you. From borders to school boards, Mark Cox is St. Louis conservative.
Are you nearing retirement and don't know if you have enough money saved to retire? That is scary. Do you have a written retirement financial plan in place? Well, when it comes to retirement planning, the trusted team at Financial and Tax Architects are the best. They've helped people all over St. Louis retire with confidence. And that's what you want. You want to retire with confidence. Now, they offer a one-night, 2.5-hour adult education class called Retirement Planning 101. They hold these at colleges over the St. Louis area and in Illinois. No cost, no obligation, just learning. And at this class, you learn how to avoid costly mistakes, how to maximize your income, how to reduce taxes in retirement. So call them today, 314-888-5101, or visit fta-ria.com and take the first step toward a smarter retirement. 314-888-5101.
Live, local, and conservative. It's the Annie Fry Show. 97.1 FM Talk.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. We're grateful that you're here with us this afternoon. Our YouTube live chat poll for the day is this the turning point for the country? Yes for the better, yes for the worse. No, nothing changes. We're giving you the results in a little bit less than 5 minutes right now. So it's Ethan's birthday, which is exciting. It's like completely not a shocker that Ryan was like, I'm going to need to leave town. How do you feel about that?
Also another fact. You know, at this point, I've just come to expect the worst from Ryan Wiggins.
You know, his birthday's next week. That dude gets a strut in his step when it's his birthday. It's akin to a 9-year-old.
We should mess with him.
I have some plans.
Interesting. Let's talk.
Okay. We shall. You said you got a text message?
I did. A buddy texted me. Name's Dylan, and then he's been listening in.
Hi, Dylan.
Said 12 feet tall is the only answer.
Obviously.
And then in all caps, quotations. Carry me. Hold me. End quote. Ethan 2025.
Yeah, exactly. Dylan's a smart man.
Debatable. Oh. I love Dylan.
That's the type of argument that we will have passionately on the air, and then when we get off the break, Ethan will be like, 12 foot tall is totally the right way. But we didn't have that conversation.
Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Honestly, son. I think I made a pretty dang good argument for 12 inches.
Were you trying to convince yourself because 12 foot's the right answer?
It's the easy answer. How about that?
No, it's not.
Yes, it totally is the easy answer.
Why?
Because you both were like, 12 feet. Well, basically, your reason was 12 feet, so I don't have to be 12 inches. That was your reason.
I think your ability to have a relationship with other human beings at 12 feet tall is much more likely than if you were somebody's pet. Or, in your case, luggage. Is that an Ethan Hannaford you're carrying?
Carry me. Hold me.
Did you get a text message from me? Or from somebody right now? Did that happen yet?
No.
Okay.
I got nothing.
All right.
Am I supposed to be expecting something?
Your birthday gift.
Okay. I have nothing.
The real one. But we're going to have some fun next week. Okay. I promise.
Okay.
Stay tuned. Is this the turning point for the country? Yes for the better. Yes for the worse. No, nothing changes. Brad answered yes for the better. Ethan, your thoughts on this one?
With hope, I'm going to say yes for the better.
It certainly can be.
Yes.
If we were going, I don't really think that anything was ever going to change without some sort of major event. And would I trade this event for Charlie Kirk? Would I rather have Charlie Kirk today? 100%, obviously. What he was building, I don't think that it's stopped building. I think that the fact that Charlie Kirk's name is known by everybody now. Are people going to go online and go, well, what did Charlie Kirk say that was what? Did you get it?
Thank you for the gift card.
Happy birthday.
That was so sweet of you.
You're welcome.
Did not have to do that.
Now admit it's 12 feet tall.
It's 12 feet tall.
Satisfied. That's called bribery, folks. I think that the amount of people who are going to Google Charlie Kirk and see what Charlie Kirk stands for, don't you think if you didn't really know who he was and you looked him up and saw what he was doing, wouldn't you be like, what's the matter with this guy?
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe like you listen to his points and you might be like, I understand what he's saying there, but I don't like agree with it. But is anybody going to look up Charlie Kirk and go, that guy got what he deserved? If they didn't know who he was and they were not in political play because they wanted to stay as far away from politics as they possibly could, who would Google Charlie Kirk right now and see all of what he was doing? I mean, I don't think that there is a way to prove Charlie Kirk right more than his own example on the internet that is going to show up. Like, it's what is the most impressive to me about this whole thing is that Charlie Kirk gets to speak for himself forever because of what he has put together and the people, the curiosity of who he is. And is there a more articulate person in the conservative movement than Charlie Kirk was that was willing to engage people? The reach he has right now, I don't think he can measure it.
I think we owe him a thank you for his courage, for his willingness to fight for this generation. A huge thank you to Charlie Kirk and the sacrifice that his family has made.
Well, I'm looking right now at the YouTube live chat poll results. Do you have them up?
I do.
Go for it real quick.
308 votes on today's YouTube live chat poll. Is this the turning point for the country? 50% say yes for the better. 31% say no, nothing changes. 19% say yes for the worse.
All right. Thanks for being here. Mark Reed next.
Is your home, business, or church looking tired, chalky, or in need of curb appeal? Go Rhino. Tired of painting year after year? Go Rhino. Our unique 3M ceramic technology is perfect for brick, stucco, aluminum, steel, color lock masonite, and more. It's backed by our 25-year transferable warranty to not chip, crack, or peel. Great if you're staying, and even better if you're selling. Our ceramic coating allows you to maintain all of your architectural features. The decision to do vinyl will leave your home looking like a plastic moldy box. With Rhino Shield, in 15 years, your home will still have that, wow, it looks like you just got it painted. We've done large condo complexes, parking garages, pole barns, and commercial strip malls. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. Evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. See what we did there? Genius. Tell them, ladies.
Don't paint, don't vinyl. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.